have a lot of centers who can play wing, a lot of wingers who don't mind playing center. I think the most obvious spot is going to be the defense. It's going to be Bouchard and Ekholm. It's going to be Nursing, Jake Walman, both Bowman and, specifically Chris Walman said, hey, we expect Jake Walman's going to play on the right side. He can play both sides, but he'd like to be on one side and just stick there. Doesn't want to go right side, left side, right side, left side. Now, obviously, due to injury, sometimes you might have to, but Jake Walman will start on the right side. Him and Darnell Nurse are paired up. I think they'll be in the second group of the day tomorrow, or maybe the first group. I got to look at it, but either way, they'll be together, and away they go. And at least for the first day of training camp, I think Emberson's going to be with Kulak, and away they go. So lines for fun. Now, don't make a whole bunch of it, but I think it's going to be Savoy with McDavid. I think Podkolzin's going to be with Draisaitl, maybe Mangiapane on the right wing there. We'll find out. I've been talking about it all summer, Cons. I've written about it. I wouldn't mind seeing Adam Henrique. We might see Adam Henrique starting training camp, which is obviously very different than the actual season. But I think he'll get a look. I think Nugent Hopkins is going to play more on center ice, at center ice, not at center, than he is on the wing this year for the Edmonton Oilers. And I think that's a good thing. So, hey, guys, you know what the lineups will be? People are already asking. No, I do not. They haven't even had training camp on the ice yet, so no, it's impossible for me to guess what the lineups are. I'll say this. Usually in the preseason, the only thing I do know is that Stan Bowman will be in Calgary on the road on Sunday. Last year, he stayed at home when they had the split squad, but this year he'll make the trek to Calgary. I knew that because I golfed with Stan yesterday alongside Elliot Friedman and Jeff Jackson. We had a lot of fun at the Oilers Barry Cates Memorial Golf Tournament they do to kind of tee off the season. Had it yesterday. The Glendale's in unreal shape, by the way. Oh my goodness, is it spectacular? And I played in a lot of scrambles before in my life. Had a lot of fun, but I don't think I've ever played in a scramble where we were 11 under in a 9-hole stretch and no mulligans. All legit, and it was funny because it was different guys. Like Bowman, he was a really good golfer when he was younger. He was telling me, obviously, can still hit the ball really well. And Friedman buried a few putts. I hit an eagle putt and a few other things. So it was pretty fun. Guys were laughing, and we ended up winning. So now I got the name on the trophy. So can never play again, and I'll still have the name on the trophy. So that's nice. Looking at a few other things for the Oilers. Guys like Trent Frederick, right winger center. I think you're going to see David Tomasic either center in the bottom six or get a look at some point in the top six. This is what training camp's going to be about. So what line you see in game 1, it's going to be different for game 3 and game 4 because guys they're going to change different things. It's not like you're just going to say one guy is going to play the whole training camp with McDavid. I'd be surprised. I think you're going to have different looks at different times. Keep in mind, Connor McDavid doesn't play a lot of games in the preseason. I think last year he played 3. I'm guessing it might be similar to that. I'm not sold. I don't remember. I don't think he played in when they played the split squad. I don't think McDavid played in either one of those games. So we'll count the Oilers roster. I think they have 33 forwards if my numbers are correct. So that means you have 9 and Zach Hyman's one of them. So that would mean you have 8 who won't play on Sunday. Because 12 will go to Calgary, 12 will play in Edmonton. So might not see McDavid in one of the first 2 preseason games similar to last year. We'll see. It all comes down to, certain guys like to play at different times. The Oilers' final 2 preseason games are on the road, which means most likely that McDavid will play in one of those for sure. Right? Most guys don't want to go a whole week between preseason games because the Oilers, their last home preseason game is on the 28th of September, right? Which is next Sunday. And then they finish on the road October 1st in Seattle and October 3rd in Vancouver. That game, of course, the 2 Vancouver games, in case you're wondering, those 2 will be on Sportsnet. The other ones will be on Oilers Plus. And if you have the NHL package, the Winnipeg games are on TSN so that you could likely get those up on, well, if you get the preseason channel, they'll be up there as well. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. You can send us a text. You can say hi to Declan on the chat line, as well as there's lots going on right now in the world of sports. The Toronto Blue Jays just continue to roll and win. They have an opportunity, depending on what happened, but they can clinch a playoff spot tonight, as their magic number is down to 2. They have 89 wins, 62 losses. They have 13 games remaining in the season. No, 11 games. Yeah, 11 games remaining in the season. And if they win twice, then they're in. So, pretty good number to have. The Cleveland Guardians, they have 12 games remaining. So, I think it's 2 is the official magic number. It might be 3. I got to double check that, but it might officially be, I think it's 3 or 2. I'd have to look at all the teams they're playing, because if Cleveland has any games head to head against Texas, then I think that's why the magic number is 2. So we'll see. The Seattle Mariners are absolutely on fire. They've won 10 in a row. And now are suddenly, they have jumped over Houston in the American League West, albeit only by half a game, but still, they've closed the gap significantly there. The Yankees and the Red Sox for the Jays when it comes to the AL East, which is obviously hugely important for them. Like, your first step is to make the playoffs, then it's you want to win the division. The Jays are 5 games up on the Yankees. They have 11 games to go, and the Jays own the tiebreaker. So they're really 6 games ahead. The Jays, what do they do? If they win, well, if they go 5-6, the Yankees got to win every game. All right, so come on. That's it's a pretty good chance that the Blue Jays are going to win the AL East. They are getting the bye, a little bit different, because they are currently 4 games up on the Tigers and 6 games up on the Mariners. So in a really good position there as well to not only make the playoffs, win the division, but also get the bye. And likely, the way it's trending, they will have the best record in the American leagues this year. The only teams with a better record in baseball right now are the Brewers, 92 wins, the Phillies, 91 wins. The Jays have 89 wins, and they do have 1 game in hand on Philly. So great race down the stretch. Hey, Greg, you can't say you went golfing with Bowman and Freeman and not give us the insider stuff. Come on, Gilly. Well, Gilly, I was going to get to it. So, yes, obviously, you know what, in an event like that, like, talk about a lot of other things. I learned lots about, their family and different things they do. Stan's youngest daughter was playing in a tournament in Czechia this summer, so we had a lot of fun with that. His other 2 kids are going to university on scholarships. Was pretty awesome. And, learned all about that. Jeff Jackson's wife's a partner in a firm. That's why their family doesn't live out here. So, he travels back and forth and different things like that. And Elliot got a 13-year-old son. I have an 11-year-old son. His boy's really into music and, different concerts and stuff. So we had a lot of fun like that. Obviously, we talked some hockey at different times. And the biggest thing I came away with, Stan didn't tell us anything that he didn't say in his press. Well, maybe a little bit, but that, they haven't got down to any real serious discussion with McDavid's camp, mainly because McDavid's just not there yet. And if you heard his interview with Elliot, he just said, it's kind of just going to be a feeling, right? Like they're doing all due process. The one advantage you have in life sometimes is time. So when time is on your side, you use it to your advantage. And that's what McDavid's doing. I look at some of the small actions sometimes speak louder than words. And Connor is doing a sit down in a local cafe today for an interview with Gene Principe. They didn't have to do, but he's doing. Obviously, he came out at the Morgan Wallen concert. He's doing a lot of things that keep him really in the community that have nothing to do with hockey. And if you listen to the interview, man, our wife loves it. I know people got nervous when he said the 25-26 season, but that's all he's focusing on right now for this year. Because even if he signs a contract extension, he would still only talk about what the team can do this year. Because the truth of the matter is, no one can say with certainty what next year's team is going to look like for a variety of reasons. Trades, McDavid doesn't get carte blanche to decide who gets traded or not, right? The GM's job is that. Connor's not the GM. He doesn't want to be the GM. So it's not like Stan Bowman goes, hey, Connor, do you approve this trade? Right? It's not how it works. Like, they have conversations about what the team needs and what they think about. Hey, this is what we had last year. Maybe this is something that we would like this year. Right? So there'll be differences. But the reason you can't predict safely, it's called injuries. And unfortunately, they happen all the time in sports. They happen at the most inopportune time for some teams, i.e. the playoffs, i.e. Zach Hyman against the Dallas Stars. Imagine if Hyman was healthy last year in the playoffs. Maybe they win. We'll never know. But what I do know for certain is that Zach Hyman's injury weakened the Edmonton Oilers. It just did. So that's a factor. Everybody I've talked to, still, like, lots of people in Edmonton and lots of people outside of Edmonton, believe that Connor's taking his time, but ultimately he's going to come to the conclusion that Edmonton there's not many places that give him a better chance to win, and he knows all of the nuts and bolts about the organization. So you can talk to people in other organizations about their organization, the owner, the GM. Well, obviously the owners, McDavid can't right now, or it's tampering. So could someone do it? I guess so. Would someone try to? I wouldn't put it by them at all. There's already some rumblings that maybe some teams, like, there's lots of people who thought, Vegas had tampered with Marner's camp. If you don't have any official proof, it's his words, but where there's smoke, there's fire. It wouldn't surprise me if some teams are doing it. It's a ruthless business. Teams want to win. They'll try to plant the seed. Hey, we can talk to Connor's agent. I'm not talking to Connor, I'm talking to his agent. Now that's, you can make arguments that's still tampering, but we'll find ways to do it. So I think, some teams might be reaching out, but Connor right now, he hasn't made his mind up outwardly. I think inwardly he kind of knows. Because it doesn't take anybody. You and I could sit down here and say, okay, look at the Oilers roster. Now let's look at other teams' rosters. We look at the salary cap. We look at the impending salary cap. And if he was going to sign there, maybe it'd be a trade. Could you move this guy? Would you move that guy? We could all play that game. But what if one of those teams you really like, one of their players, suffers a torn ACL in the playoffs this year? Well, now what happens? Guy's out for all of next season. Pretty big blow to your team. Unpredictable. What does it mean? That's why I think when it's all said and done, Connor McDavid is going to sign in Edmonton. And he's using the one thing that he has a abundance of right now, which is time. Now, it's interesting that we use the word time because many Oiler fans have a lot of time on their hands thinking about the team they love. And you think about it, and then slowly you're like, oh my God. Like, I saw so many people that are now, I'm a psychologist. I know what this means. Connor McDavid said the 25-26 season. He didn't say any season after, so clearly that means he's leaving. I saw people making that conclusion. Right? I saw them making that conclusion. I'm not one who, I think it's a waste of time. Now, it's fun for people. If you want to do it with your buddies, that's fine. You want to post it on your social media, knock your socks off. Right? Some people like stress. They do. They don't even know it, but they love it. Some people function better with it, like a little chaos around, or some people function better with quiet. So if you're somebody who functions better with quiet, maybe you mute the word McDavid on your social media for a while. Then you don't have to see it. But the Oilers, here's the thing. Stan Bowman and Connor had a really good sit-down conversation one-on-one. Just talking about the team, the organization. They didn't talk money. They just talked about, what do you think we need? Because every team, even if Connor McDavid had a 4-year contract, he would still sit down with his general manager before the season and talk about things because that's what you do. That's how you have open lines of communication. A, he's a pretty important player on your team. B, he's also the captain. So he at times is the conduit between the group and the coach, or the group and the GM. It happens. So the fact that he's entering the final year of his deal, it becomes more of a story, and I totally understand it. And we'll hear from Stan Bowman coming up in the show. We got lots of clips from Bowman and Knobloch, also Zach Hyman talking about his injury. Also Zach Hyman, the owner, So we'll talk to him about that the junior hockey ranks. We'll have Speck, Tyler Remchuk, Tate will be by the 2-minute warning. Joel Delanco will join us, linebacker for the Elks. Also locally, big opening on Friday night. So we're going to talk a little junior hockey as well in our number one about the Saints. We'll take your text at 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. And I know what's going to happen is, anytime there's a comment from Connor McDavid, it's going to get dissected and dissected and dissected. And that's okay. But I watched the McDavid interview, but I also watched the Draisaitl one. And like, Leon knows Connor better than most people. Leon seems fairly confident that Connor McDavid's going to be here. And I believe that ultimately, when it's all said and done, he will. I think the biggest question is going to be term. Is it going to be a 2-year deal? It's going to be a 3-year deal? Maybe a 4. I'd be surprised if it was longer than 4. Now, that'd be pleasantly surprised for Oilers fans, but I don't think a 4-year deal is a negative at all. So I look at I feel when it's all said and done, like Connor's just using the time to say, hey, I want to make sure I can feel as comfortable as possible with my decision. But here's the truth. When your whole goal is to want to win, you can look at it left, right, upside down, somersault, do any different angle, right? Pick all the angles, 90 degree, 45. I don't care. Look at it from every angle, 180, do a full 360. There's no guarantee you win. There's none. So when it's all said and done, and after you've analyzed anything, he's talked with his wife, he's talked with his parents, he's talked with his agent, obviously he's talked with Stan Bowman, he's talked with Jeff Jackson, I'm sure he'll talk with Leon Draisaitl, he'll talk with everybody. And then ultimately he has to make a decision. And it was interesting what he said. He goes, it's just kind of what I have a feeling, like when it's right for me. So you don't want to rush him, and there's no reason to have to be like, Connor, you got to sign by October 5th, or, oh my God, our organization can't function. Well, that would be a sign of a weak organization. So you don't put a timeline on it. And like I've said before, the minute they get down to, okay, let's actually discuss brass tactics, term, and AAV, I don't think it's going to be difficult. Everybody knows it. What is AAV could be? It could be 14 up. Theoretically, the highest it can be is 19. But he wants to win and ain't going to be there. I think it'd be 16. I wouldn't be shocked if he had a 2-year deal at 14. Same as Leon Draisaitl. AAV, not term. I could see him having a 2-3-year deal at 16. The money at the end of the day does impact the salary cap for sure. But other than that, I think the money is going to be the easiest part of the negotiation. And then term. Right now, if McDavid says, hey, I'm 2, of course Stan Bowman's going to say, well, hey, man, we'd like to get you for 3, and here's why. And he'll probably have some points as to why they would like it. But, we could do a fun McDavid update every day on the show for fun, because you got to have a little humor in this. I think some people get annoyed by it all the time because nothing's changed yet. And all that's changed is people making, predictions and statements that have zero truth to them. They're just a guess and a project. And if you want to believe it, you choose to believe it. It's your choice. But no one knows. Connor himself has said he doesn't even know yet. So if he doesn't know, how the hell does anybody else know? And one thing I know about McDavid, he doesn't like things leaking out. Judd Moldover will not be leaking this one out. When the decision finally comes, there'll be a decision, probably pretty quick. Oilers have a press conference. Away you go. Connor McDavid signed. And here they go. So that's where we're at. We'll hear from Bowman, Knoblauch, Hyman, Walman, and more. We'll take a quick break, come back. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. We're going to talk a little fun line combinations. Who doesn't like a line combination? Because there's some opportunities, and there's 2 people, I think, who could be skating with Connor McDavid tomorrow.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
A new Edmonton Oil Kings season hits different.
After a cruel summer, hockey is back at Rogers Place. This Saturday at 4, it's the Oil Kings home opener against the Red Deer Rebels.
Family fun that's second to none with Calmont Kids food combos for $10 or less.
Shake it off with a post-game concert from Canada's #1 Swiftie tribute artist, plus bracelet making on the concourse.
The Edmonton Oil Kings are Edmonton's first choice for family entertainment. Home openers Saturday at 4.
Great seats at Rogers Place start at only $20 at oilkings.ca.
It's the final weekend of the Bricks Famous Tent Sale. Now save up to 70% off clearance items in the tent and store, with more amazing deals arriving daily in every department, like up to $1,800 off power reclining sectionals and up to $700 off big screen TVs. Buy more, save more when you buy 2 or more major appliances, up to $1,000 off. Plus, get a free Bluetooth party speaker when you spend $9.99 or more on furniture. Some exclusions apply. See in store for details. The Bricks, saving you more.
Get the lowdown with Low Tide. Weekdays from noon to 2 on Sports 1440. He's seen it all and then some. From stats to stories, he breaks it down like no one else. Proud to be Edmonton's sports leader. Sports 1440.
At Fountain Tire, we're fluent in saving you money.
Fluent?
Yes, we've mastered the language of deals. Like right now, you can save up to 25% off select tires and up to $125 off a set of 4 select Goodyear tires. Plus, $50 off $150 service when you buy those tires. All until October 18th.
I'm sorry, I don't speak deals.
Spend less, save more when you buy round black things from us.
Oh, got it.
Restrictions apply. Book your appointment online today. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
There's something we need to talk about. Debt. It's an uncomfortable topic, but the truth is, most of us carry some form of debt, and we are ashamed to talk about it. My name is Parveen Middleton, a licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Edmonton. Every day, people struggling with debt come to me for a solution. When you make that call, I'll listen to your story without judgment and will lead you to a debt-free future. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to learn more.
It's time to learn those ABCs and CRVs. Sherwood Honda can tutor you on fuel efficiency, reliability, comfort, and style. With all those drop-offs and pickups and practices, back to school means you hardly have time to park before you're back on the road. But it's a lot more fun doing it in a new ride. And when you do the math, Sherwood Honda adds up to the best deal you'll find. You sure would move to the head of the class and become a road scholar with a lesson from Sherwood Honda.
The faster we're falling, we're stopping and stalling, we're running in circles again.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Northwest Crane, available for all your lifting and equipment needs, specializing in selling and servicing cranes. Get lifting at northwestcrane.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$229. Happy hump day. Also a happy training camp day for those who enjoy it. You get excited. It means the season is one step closer. Also, this will be the final year that you have to watch 8 preseason games. It'll be starting next year. It's only 13 days for training camp to begin and then get to the regular season. So you look at basically that would be that it starts today, and then the regular season would start October 1st. 1 week less, which is great. Only 4 games. Lots of positives starting next season. And the Oilers, if you missed it, they do start their preseason on Sunday with split squads. One team going to Calgary, one team playing against Calgary, so they will also have split squads. The hometown team usually has more NHL guys. Obviously, you have to dress a certain amount of veteran players on road games. And you know what? Hey, it's just the truth of the matter is your bottom 6 forwards, your third pair defense guys, usually are the ones who go on the road early on. And now later on, obviously the Oilers' final 2 preseason games are on the road. So they'll likely be down to the majority of their NHL roster for those final games. So they'll play some road games then. It is the Gregor Show on Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, as well as YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you're having a lovely, lovely day. Let's get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by the Spruce Grove Saints. And in 2 days, they will unveil the brand new Thompson Arena in St. Albert in Spruce Grove, home of the Saints and the BCHL. They'll open up against Brooks. So it's going to be a great night. Very limited tickets left, but you're going to want to see that facility. It's amazing. So get your tickets at sgsaints.ca as Tyler Yaremchuk from Oilers Nation and Daily Faceoff joins us now. And Ty, you seem to be like one who's nervous about the McDavid thing. Why?
I don't know if nervous is the right way to put it. I almost just kind of sit here and I don't know. There's been a few things that Connor McDavid has said that kind of just caused me to raise a little bit of an eyebrow. You know, he talked about, this was maybe 2-3 weeks ago when he did one of his first press conferences. And he said, you know, if it's a distraction for guys, that's a them problem, not a me problem. And I kind of looked at that and went like, I don't know, you're the captain of the team. You're the best player on the team. It's your contract situation. Like, I get where he was coming from, but I was also kind of like, well, no, like the team being distracted is a problem for the captain of the team. And I even, you know, look at that interview yesterday with Friedman and Bukauskas, and there were just a couple of things that caused me to raise an eyebrow. It's just, it hasn't gone as smooth as I thought it would. Like, I thought he would be signed at the end of August, early September. So now I'm kind of taking every piece of information, not glass half empty, but just with a bit of a raised eyebrow, I guess.
Yeah, well, his response was, hey, if you can't handle the noise, then you're probably not in the right industry. And I would agree with him, because if NHL players are following fans and some media people freaking out on social media, then they're probably you're just kind of wasting time. It's the old adage, you never take advice from somebody that you never ask for criticism for. Or sorry, never take criticism from somebody you would never ask for advice from. And I look at McDavid and everybody I talk to in the hockey world believes that Connor McDavid is going to re-sign in Edmonton because the team is good, because the elsewhere is unknown, and there's very few teams that offer a Leon Draisaitl as a running mate, and very few guys win by themselves. You need a really good team, and like the Oilers are close, right? Like if Edmonton hadn't been out of the second round, I think it might be a different conversation. But they've been in the Stanley Cup final, and my understanding, like Connor McDavid didn't have a great Stanley Cup final, and I think he's aware of that. Like, not that he was the reason they lost by any stretch of imagination. There's lots of guys who could have played better, but that's sometimes why you lose in the Stanley Cup final, when you have lots of guys who don't play as well as they would have liked. And I think there's all those sorts of things. And I'm a big believer that unfinished business for lots of guys is a motivating factor, right? Like if you're never close, you're like, well, there's really not any unfinished business compared to, damn, we could not get any closer than we have the last 2 years.
Yeah, I do think, even look at the tone and the vibe of the team coming out of those 2 cup finals, right? Like in the hours and days, we'll call it, after the first cup final loss, there was still like a lot of heartbreak there. After this last one, I think you saw stern faces, seriousness. I don't think it was as much disappointment as it was frustration from that group. So maybe that's a part of this as well. Maybe Connor wants to see what kind of shape the room is to start training camp too. Like, I know there's a bunch of things he could be considering, but I am still with you. As much as I've looked at a few things maybe more pessimistically than some other people have, at the end of the day, if I had to put money on it, I'm still betting on Connor McDavid signing some sort of an extension with the Oilers. Like, I would be stunned if it's not done, let's call it halfway through the season here. So yeah, I think it'll get done. I think it'll get done pretty quickly, and not pretty quickly. It'll get done at some point. And yeah, I don't think this is going to be something where at the trade deadline we're still like, ooh, what's going on?
Yeah, probably. I would agree with that. I don't think it would go that long, to be honest. And it was interesting. His latest comment was like, "Well, when are you going to know?" Well, it's just a feeling. And so that, to me, he's analyzed a lot of the stuff, and he's just using something that he has an abundance of right now, which is time.
Yeah, but see, even that comment there where he goes, it's just a feeling. That one I looked at and was like, oh, okay, but like, what is that feeling? Is it a feeling towards Edmonton? Is it a feeling about the team around you? Like, some of the comments, again, have just been ominous, I guess, is another word I can use. But whatever. I mean, at the end of the day, I think he's going to sign. And yeah, I like what you joked before going to break. Like, if you're going to sit here as an Oilers fan and be shaking and losing sleep every night, I just don't think that's necessary.
Yeah, like I can get why Oilers fans, but I think some people are more glass half full and some people are more glass half empty. And if you're naturally a glass half empty person, you're going to gravitate towards oh my God, he's going to look what he just said. That means he's leaving. Whereas other people are like, oh, you know what? He said this. Well, did you see what Leon Draisaitl said? And, everything else. So I get the theory that people like to say it's a distraction. I'm just not sure if it's really a distraction in the room where during the season, lots of players aren't even on social media. So, I'm not going to be asking Zach Hyman every second day, what do you think of Connor McDavid's contract status? Because I wouldn't ask any other player that because they have zero to do with his contract status. The only guy you could ask is Connor McDavid. Now, the Oilers play lots of road games, right? Guys in Edmonton aren't going to ask him because they've asked him lots, but every road city, and that's where they got a 5-game road trip early on. Then they got a 7-game road trip and it's all out east. And there are a lot of Eastern teams. We want McDavid. He might be like, all right, I'm done talking about it by then. That I could see.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. Like let's say it does stretch well into the season. What is that first media scrum in Toronto like at Madison Square Garden? Like, what are those like? What are road reporters going to be trying to pull out of them to throw at the top of their, column or as their headline? Like, to me, that the road games are when it can become a distraction. Because I do agree with you. Like in the room, like, is Vasily Podkolzin lying awake at night wondering if Connor McDavid's going to sign? No, he's worried about his own stuff. This is his career as well. He's worried about what he needs to do on a day-to-day basis. So you're right. In the room, don't think it'll be that big of a deal. But those road trips, there will probably be some, I don't know about interesting, maybe eye-rolling kind of quotes that are questions that'll come from some visiting media when McDavid's on the road.
Now let's get to McDavid is going to be on the ice tomorrow for sure. Zach Hyman is not going to be on the ice with the team. He can skate on his own. But so for opening day of training camp, and I'm just saying training camp, who are his 2 wingers tomorrow? What's your prediction?
I was reading your article earlier this morning about how Trent Frederick likes to be either center or on the right side. There's obviously a glaring hole on the right side. If I was in charge, maybe this isn't so much of a prediction, more of a projection of what I'd like to see. I want to see Trent Frederick get some runway in the top 6. I know some Oilers fans were really disappointed, and understandably so, with what he did. What he played 7 regular season minutes, and then he was in the playoffs, but he was so banged up the whole time. I know that leg injury or foot injury was really, really hampering him. I want to see what a fully healthy Trent Frederick can do. Like, this is a guy who scored 18 goals for the Boston Bruins, and his most common line mates that season were Morgan Geekie and James Van Riemsdyk, who was a shell of his former self. So I want to see Trent Frederick get a look with some skill. I would imagine Matt Savoy's getting a look up there early in camp, considering how well he played in those rookie games. And I think, Savoy would be a pretty obvious answer, but Trent Frederick, I'm willing to put him in the sort of sleeper category, I guess, for a spot on the top line or in the top 6.
All right. I think tomorrow I'm going to go with Matt Savoy with McDavid on the right. On the left side, I think it's going to be Adam Henrique.
I like that. I like moving Henrique to the wing a little bit. Again, the numbers for Nuge point towards him being a solid third-line center. And, I wrote a thing today about how last year at 5-on-5, without McDavid and Draisaitl in the regular season, the Oilers didn't score all that well. I think they got outscored 88-66 were the numbers on Natural Stat Trick. Like, slotting Nuge down to the third line, maybe that just allows you to pair him with someone. And I even talked about how that someone could be a Savoy or a Howard. Maybe that's how you start to get some more offense when McDavid and Draisaitl are off the ice. You move Nuge down the middle and you pair him with one of these young guys. Like, hey, Nugent Hopkins can take care of his own defensively. You don't have any concerns with that. He can distribute the puck. He can play with different sort of skill sets. And Knobloch today spoke about how Savoy and Howard are guys who are used to playing with the best players on their team, and their line mates are usually, the other best players on the team. But when you do that in the NHL, you need to go up against the other team's best defensemen, the other team's best defensive forwards at time. Maybe putting one of those guys down with Nugent Hopkins allows them to get some softer minutes. It's a little bit easier to kind of start their first full-time NHL season. And Nugent Hopkins is still a hell of a hockey player. It'd still give them skill to play with. So I'd be curious if one of those guys can fit well with Nuge.
Yeah, like I think Nugent Hopkins, in all the conversations I've had with everybody around the team, I think they feel like, hey, third line center. And Knobloch mentioned, a third line center, a little bit of a check and roll physicality where I'm like, all right, so that's Nugent Hopkins. And I think we see Trent Frederick maybe with Nugent Hopkins when the regular season begins. And then I don't know about who's going to be on the left wing side. Because there's Mangiapane. I think Podkolzin is definitely going to probably get a look with Draisaitl to start. I think Leon Draisaitl really likes playing with him, and a lot. He might not get a lot of points, but he does a lot of things that create space, as Leon described here about 10 days ago to me. So, maybe that's where Henrique comes in. We'll see, but they're going to have lots of different looks. I think we're going to like David Tomasik's another wild card. Like you want to talk, he's probably the best pure right shot shooter they have amongst any forward. Now, that doesn't mean he's a top 6 player, but as a shooter goes, that guy can bomb the puck, like really rip it. And I'm kind of intrigued to see him. I think he's either going to be like your 4th line center, or he gets some looks in your top 6 as a winger, just to see which one's a better fit for him.
Yeah, and the interesting thing with him too is just that size, right? I think you can understandably be cautious putting expectations on a guy who's in his late 20s and hasn't played a game in the NHL before, but that size probably makes it a little bit easier to adapt to the NHL game when you can just use that frame to kind of shield guys off. And then, yeah, you mentioned the shot. I mean, hey, the net's the same size here as it is in Europe. If he can get to dangerous spots and he is a distributor like McDavid or Draisaitl, getting him the puck, like, the idea that he could finish off chances is not all that far-fetched. I remember talking to Stephen Ellis when the Oilers signed him last spring, and Ellis is a guy who watched him and said, like, I think he can step into the NHL right now this season and be a guy who gets to at least double digits in goals. Stephen said 12 to 15. So if he can score 12 to 15 just based on what Stephen saw in Europe, again, you click with one of 97 or 29, and maybe that's a guy who can match what, I know he didn't do it with McDavid, but let's say you're trying to match Skinner's 16 goals that you lost in the lineup. Maybe Tomasek can get there.
Yeah, it's potential, right? It's going to come down to ice time for sure. We'll see about that. The one thing where I think there's really not going to be much discussion in training camp is defense. Ekholm's going to play at Bouchard. Walman's going to play the right side with Nurse. They're going to stick him there a long time. Jake Walman talked about it. He really actually likes playing the right side on the penalty kill. He actually likes the right side in the offensive zone, especially can do the one-timer, but it feels like, where you are as a left shot on the right side, your stick's naturally in the middle of the ice more, so it can be a little bit better for you. And he's played there, so he's comfortable. So that leaves, Kulak's your third pair lefty, and it's really going to come down to, I think, Emberson and Stetcher. There's a slight chance Alex Regula can maybe get in the mix, but he hasn't played hockey in a year, so I think that's going to be really hard to do. Goaltending, we know who the 2 goaltenders are. The penalty kill is what kind of intrigues me. Then I'm going to watch what they're doing, because Chris Knobloch outlined today that not only are they going to have a lot of different personnel, but they're going to have a different philosophy on their penalty kill from last year.
Yeah, and from a personnel perspective, I'm pretty intrigued to see kind of who ends up getting those minutes. Again, Henrique, a guy who can go out there, win faceoffs. Last year in the playoffs, obviously Connor Brown was the forward that spent the most time on the PK. He's gone, like such an important piece in that penalty kill. But, Janmark, Nuge, Henrique, there are plenty of candidates to go around. Even a guy like Kasperi Kapanen, I'm intrigued to see what kind of role he ends up playing here. Like, I don't think he'll exactly be a top 6 guy out of the gates, even though he spent some time on Draisaitl's wing last season. But like, if he's going to crack this roster as an everyday player who's playing as a bottom 6 winger, he probably needs to show this coaching staff that he can have a role on the penalty kill. He killed just under a minute per game when he did play in the playoffs, but probably need that to be up. Like, if he can be a regular penalty killer that Knobloch trusts, like, it's a lot easier for him to have an everyday spot in this lineup.
Tyler Ramchuk, Oilers Nation, joins us. Oilers Nation every day. What do you make of Ike Howard, and what do you think he's going to need to do to because he's obviously got to play in the top 9 if he's going to stay here. There's no reason to have him there. Do you think he plays more than the first 10 games, or do you think we see him start in the minors and then come up?
I just think, expectations maybe need to be in check a little bit more with him. And listen, I want to cut him some slack in the rookie games, comparing him to Savoy, because I know it's what a lot of people kind of jump to quickly. Savoy had been skating for a little bit. He'd been on the ice. Howard was out doing the NHLPA thing. Like, the idea that Howard wasn't as ready to jump into those rookie games and dominate as Savoy, like, that maybe should have been a little bit expected. But I also do think it showed that Savoy's the more polished prospect. Savoy has a year of playing against men. He had that cup of coffee, I should say, in the NHL last year. And as much as Howard's played against 21 and 22-year-olds in college, he hasn't had to go up against the best players in the world before. So again, I think ultimately at this point, like if you set the over-under at 41 games this season, I probably take the over. But in terms of him starting with this team or maybe having to go down to Bakersfield for a month and a half to start the year, I don't think that's totally out of the question. And I don't think fans should be disappointed if it happens. Like, while it's totally possible he clicks really well with one of 29 or 97 and he's just flying out of the gates, I just think a guy like that coming out of college with no pro experience, never even did the little 9-game trial at the end of his last college season or whatever, that guy might just need to get a bunch of puck touches, play 22 minutes a night in Bakersfield and play on the power play and learn these different things, and then come up late November, early December, maybe even January 1st, and then he'll be ready. Like, again, people who are jumping and betting on him to win the Calder, that's just a stretch for me.
Oh, goodness. Like, and the other thing I find interesting is, so Matt Savoy was a number 9 overall draft pick and had a dominant final year of junior. He got acquired, comes in for Ryan McLeod, who was, by the way, a proven NHL player on a team that went to the Stanley Cup final. And everyone's like, oh, yeah, Savoy can go to the minors. No big deal. A year later, Ike Howard comes in, who had one really great year in college, gets traded for another prospect. Both of these guys are late first-round picks. And the same people are like, oh, my God, Ike Howard, he's a guarantee scoring 30 goals. There's no way he can't be here. And I'm kind of like, what the hell's going on? Am I living in a bizarro world? Like, you got a 9th overall pick, a guy who was, played in, an 72-game season, 68-game season, and no chance he's ready. But Ike Howard a year later is like stone cold lock. And I'm kind of like, I don't get it.
I think part of it too, and I remember when they acquired Savoy, it was, a day or two, maybe a week after you would call in Chalk on your show. And he was like, right out of the gates, he said, and the organizational messaging was like, he's going to Bakersfield. Like, they really didn't give him much of a chance and they didn't allow any fanfare to build. It was like, he's going down to Bakersfield. We're developing him. With Howard, we haven't really gotten that messaging yet. Like, the Oilers haven't been afraid to put out some sizzle reels on Twitter that get people fired up. And they do a lot of Iceman, Ike Howard stuff. And I don't know, they've allowed the hype to grow a little bit. Whereas, maybe it would have been better for the player if they just kind of came out and said like, whoa, he is going to need some time in Bakersfield to start. But again, you want to give the player a chance to prove himself in training camp. But it's just interesting. You're right. The messaging with Savoy right out of the gates was, we're taking our time. Don't expect him on the team out of camp. Versus with Howard, they've kind of let fans' imaginations run wild a little bit here.
Yeah, a bit. And so I don't know if it's because Howard was a guy who kind of had to agree to the trade, yada, yada, yada. So you say all the right things, and it was later in the summer. It wasn't right afterwards. So maybe there's that. And there was still like all the fanfare from losing the cup. And so maybe the Savoy trade just kind of got lost in it. Who knows? But it hasn't been lost on me, the difference of approach from some people, from Savoy to Howard, where I'm not sold like Howard's a better prospect coming out of college than Matt Savoy was coming out of junior.
Oh, I'm not at all. And like, again, you can point to the accolades in the Hobie Baker season and all of that. But I mean, go back, and I'm sure you have the last 15 Hobie Baker winners. The guys who win it at his age, a lot of them don't actually end up panning out to very much, or at least panning out to a star level or 25 plus goal level. Like, they become everyday NHLers and kind of nothing more. So again, I just think people should, especially early in the season, pump the brakes on Ike Howard. And if he has to go down to Bakersfield for a month or 2 months, I don't think people should be going, what a failure by Bowman or this or that. Like, that's the normal trajectory for a prospect like him, who was a late first round pick. Like, he might just need a little bit of time. And the other thing too, like, as much as playing next to McDavid and Draisaitl means you get a lot of opportunities, as I said earlier, it also means you go up against the other team's best players. And it can also be, I remember talking to Tyler Ennis about this, and he was like, man, my first 2 weeks with the Oilers, trying to learn how to play with Connor and Leon, like, at first you just want to defer to them and you're not sure, you don't want to mess up. Like, he can put a lot of pressure on you too. So again, tempering expectations with Howard, I think it's a little necessary right now.
Ty, always good to catch up with you, buddy. Have a great day. We will chat with you next Wednesday.
Sounds good. See you, Gregs.
There you go. That's Tyler Yaremchuk. Quick break. We'll return. It's the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Day or night, tasting just so right. You can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle Noodle.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. Since 2016, we've been at the forefront of hydraulic torque wrenches in Canada. I'm delighted to share our latest venture, in-house production for quicker turnaround, superior quality, and heightened versatility. Experience excellence at cantork.com.
And now Action Electrical's testing team is on defense duty. They're the guardians of safety and compliance, a critical part of any lineup.
Precisely. They perform rigorous safety and code compliance testing for commercial operations. Think of them as the referees, ensuring everything is up to standard before disaster strikes.
Their preventative plays are legendary, spotting faults early. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Bringing every project to life requires the right team. By joining the Japa Machinery Group service or sales teams, you can be part of setting a new industry standard. Celebrating a legacy of excellence with Japa. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
Listen up, because you're not going to want to miss this. Right now is your chance to get in on Play Alberta's biggest offer ever. For a limited time only, new players can get up to a $1,000 casino bonus when they sign up. There's never been a better time to join the fun. Visit playalberta.ca today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
Stop juggling lowest bid contractors, because at Wetaskiwin Ready Mix, one call does it all. From concrete supply to cribbing and pumping, we've got your project covered. Locally owned and operated, Wetaskiwin Ready Mix is proud to deliver on spec and on time every time, because we know quality concrete isn't cheap, and cheap concrete isn't quality. Send Wetaskiwin Ready Mix your blueprint. We'll handle the rest. Wetaskiwin Ready Mix, 780-352-4301.
The Spruce Grove Saints home opener is Friday, September 19th, and you don't want to miss it. The Saints will be playing their first game in the brand new Thompson Family Arena as they host league champion Brooks Bandits at 7 p.m. With a completely new and exciting in-game experience, including a state-of-the-art Jumbotron, the Thompson Family Arena will be the place to be. Don't miss the Spruce Grove Saints home opener, September 19th. For tickets, visit tickets.sgsaints.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. What's the best way to beat the tariffs? Buy Canadian. Cantork's products not only made in Canada, but right here in Edmonton. Save money, support Canada at cantork.com.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by playalberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$250. Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, and Sports 1440, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. And the big one, well, listen to the GM, because obviously he's the one who has the discussions with Connor McDavid and his agent, with Connor McDavid personally. And here's Bowman just talking about what the recent conversations with his captain have been like.
The conversations with Connor are always
more, I wouldn't say it's a sales pitch as much as just it's a dialogue when he has questions or I don't want to get into what we talk about, but I think it's more free-flowing conversations. Like I've gotten to know him now. I've been here for a year, and I feel like we can just sit down and talk hockey or talk about things that are on his mind, things about the current team or the future team. And I've done that not just recently, but also throughout the last season. Like I find he's got a real good pulse on the team as well. I mean, as the leader and the captain, I think he has thoughts on things, and I want to understand that so that I can, kind of working together on it. So I would say it's not so much a sales pitch as it is just a conversation, and it goes in a bunch of different directions usually.
Exactly. It hasn't been like they're going to talk about the team and what it looks like to a point. But again, no one can predict completely what the team will look like because you don't know. What if all of us say, hey, we'd like to get this player, but another player who's better comes available that you don't even think of, right? Like you never know. As a GM's job, nobody can tell you for sure which team is going to make a guy available or unavailable at this time next year or at the trade deadline, right? Remember when Ekholm got traded? 2 weeks earlier, he wasn't available. All of a sudden, he became available. Things can change. It's like you're feeling on a player. Now, you can be stubborn and say, I don't like this player. Come hell or high water, I'm never going to like him. That's fine. Or you didn't like him, and then 6 months later, you're like, geez, you know what? This guy's really warned me. Now I like him. I was wrong. Fine, it works. Like, I don't know why people think you can't ever change your mind or thought on something. Oh, you said this 2 years ago. Oh, you got to stick with it. Like, what? Sports is unpredictable for a variety of reasons. Some player in some market might all of a sudden want to get traded that we never thought would get traded. Happens all the time. So, are the conversations about this year's team or more in the future?
Well, it's a blend of that. I would say he does ask me about like where do I envision things. So that's a part of it. We talk about this year too. And we talked about, what did we do well last year? What do we think we could change or should change? So I would say it's not limited to just one thing, but it does definitely touch on future.
Yeah, it's got to be both, right? But again, you can't predict too far in the future. And like I know we got a lot of text guys, McDavid not signing's holding up them not signing other guys. I actually asked Stan Bowman that directly yesterday, and Stan said no. We haven't gone down any, like they've had preliminary discussions with other guys. So that would be Ekholm, that would be Walman, there's Stuart Skinner, there's Brett Kulak, there's Podkolzin, right? Now there's some other guys like Adam Henrique has 1 year left in his deal. So, probably haven't had any discussions with him just yet. Kapanen just signed a 1 year deal. It's more some of the other guys, and you'll see where they're going. And, if you re-sign now, if Jake Walman, you look at it and he's for sure your second pair right D, because I just want to point something out because we had a texter and I think it's a valid point. McGregor, the Oilers got to get a right shot D. You can't win with always having a lefty on the right side. I can see that argument. However, Florida Panthers won the cup. They had 2 right shot defensemen out of their 6 both years. The Vegas Golden Knights, when they won, 2 right shot defensemen. You would love to get another right shot defender, but you have to get a right shot defender that you think is better than Jake Walman, who plays the right side. And the truth is there's not an abundance of those guys. Like, how many teams would you say have 3 top 4 right shot defensemen? Because that's what you'd be looking for, right? Jake Walman's a top 4 defender. He is a lefty who plays the right side. But how many teams out there, and I'm just off the top of my head, so I'm sure there's some, but how many teams out there right now would we look and say, okay, they have 3 top pair right shot defenders? I'm not sure there's many. So, like, I look at, let's just go through the teams who made the playoffs last season. Carolina has Jalen Chatfield. They have Sean Walker. They had Brent Burns, but he's no longer there. Chatfield was more of a, I know Chatfield's probably top 4 guy for Carolina when I look at his minutes played. But so no. The Florida Panthers, no. The Toronto Maple Leafs, no. Right? Because they only have 2 right shot defenders, right? Carlo and Tanev, who were on their playoff roster last year. And I don't think they've added any. Tampa Bay, no. Right? You got Cernak. I don't like Darren Radish, Nick Perbix, I think, are their other righties. No. St. Louis Blues have what? Falcon, Parayko, but they don't have a third. I got to go through. I can't do it off the top of my head, but there is a shortage across the league when we talk top 4 right shot defenders. And if you're going to get one, like unless the team is out of it and you got a pending free agent, if a team has 2 really good right shot defenders, they're going to trade one of them. Then you're going to spend a lot of time looking for them. So you might have to just do what Florida and Vegas have done. Play a lefty over there and you find a good one. And Jake Walman says he's very comfortable playing the right side on the penalty kill. He loves it in the offensive zone. He just doesn't want to go back and forth all the time. And I understand that. You just get comfortable. It's all about repetition, less thinking, more reacting, and away you go. So, yes, it's not ideal, but lots of teams have done it. And the last 3 Stanley Cup winners won the Stanley Cup with only 2 righties in their lineup. Coming up, we're going to hear lots from Chris Knobloch and Walman, as well as maybe even get some thoughts from Zach Hyman. We got Cam Tate. We're going to talk a little junior hockey about the Saints and more. But first, let's get to the Conman Sports 1440 update brought to you by 01 Hockeyology. Continue to improve and refine your game during the season at their very unique facility, 01.ca. They've got off-ice and on-ice facilities to improve your shot, your skating, your decision-making, strength, and more, 01.ca.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Toronto Blue Jays back in action tonight, looking to make it 7 straight wins when they take on the Tampa Bay Rays again. First pitch set for 7:05. Jays sending Kevin Gausman to the mound right now. We've got the Braves and Nationals scoreless in the 4th and midway through the 6th. Also, Diamondbacks Giants, no runs on the board as of yet. Earlier today, the Cubbies doubled up the Pirates 8-4. Reds got past the Cards 6-2. And it was the Orioles over the White Sox 3-1. Later this evening, Dodgers host the Phillies, Astros taking on the Rangers, the Mariners in Kansas City, Yankees up against the Twins, and the Padres travel to New York taking on the Mets. Calgary Flames signed Captain Michael Bachman to a 2-year, $6.5 million contract extension that will kick in the 2026-27 season. Bachman, 36 years old, at 15 goals and 32 points in 76 games last season with the Flames, where he spent his entire career since being selected 24th overall in 2007. In the WNBA tonight, playoffs rolling on. New York will take a 2-0 series lead over the Mercury at 6. And at 8 o'clock, you'll have the Lynx and Valkyries meeting in San Jose, Minnesota, up in that series 1-0. And the Portland Thorns announced that Canadian legend Christine Sinclair's number 12 jersey will be retired on October 4th in a game against Bay FC. Sinclair, 42, spent 11 seasons with the Thorns and retired after the 2024 season. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll hear more comments from the Oilers from earlier today and hear another edition of Cam Tate's 2-Minute Warning. Plus, JJ Hebert joins us to talk some Saints. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
It's Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's AquaCentral reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade. Safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
Big guests, bigger takes. Jason Gregor brings the names you know and the stories you don't. Weekdays, 2 to 6 on Sports 1440. Don't miss a minute of the action on Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440.
Mr. Rooter goes for a fall stroll.
Ah, the beauty of fall. These leaves are crunchier than that calcified shower head I replaced this morning. And the earthy yellow oranges and browns are as colorful as the wad of hair I pulled out of the shower drain.
Ugh, Mr. Rooter, can we talk about something else?
Well, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you didn't like fall. You look about as sour as the sewer line I unclogged yesterday.
For a plumber you'll truly fall for. Call Mr. Rooter.
Want some good news? St. Albert Dodge is holding the biggest sale of the year on their in-stock Ram 1500 Sports. Every single one on the lot is discounted by a whopping $14,000. Yeah, 14 grand. And St. Albert Dodge has the best selection in Alberta. Over 90 Ram 1500 Sports to
The big dumper, he is on fire. Welcome to the Jason Gregor
Edition and GT models, all $14,000 off the ticket price. Get down there and see how easy it is to do business.
Happy Hump
at
Day.
St. Albert Dodge.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in
Connor
entertainment,
Halley.
exhilarating sporting events, and more. Stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Center. TNA Wrestling makes its explosive debut at the Expo Center on Friday, September 26th and Saturday, September 27th for back-to-back nights. Buy your tickets online today. Learn more about what's happening at the Expo Center by visiting the calendar of events online at edmontonexpocenter.com today.
Imagine a busy classroom. Now imagine it if no one was willing to teach. Here's the reality. It's getting harder to keep teachers in the profession and to attract new people to an increasingly challenging job. Pay for teachers has fallen far behind inflation and cost of living. With fair wages, we can keep the ones we have and hire more. But we need the provincial government to step up. Because a fair deal for teachers is a good deal for kids. A message from the Alberta Teachers Association.
It's time to rev up your engines at the Finning Sales Event, Tuesday, September 23rd. Take advantage of event exclusives and score big with 0% financing. Demo the latest Cat heavy-duty equipment as they celebrate 100 years. Plus, you can pick up your perk with every equipment purchase, $2,000 in additional discounts or free select attachments. Big machines, big savings, big fun. That's Tuesday, September 23rd. Edmonton Finning, 10910 170th Street Northwest.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Japa is digging deep on their 50-year history of supporting Alberta's construction industry with their line of special edition blackout excavators. Visit japamachinery.com for all the details.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Just after 3 o'clock, welcome back. The Jason Gregor Show, as always, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Get in the game. New odds, better site, easier to use through the app. It's a great combination for the NFL, MLB, soon to be the new odds for the NHL. So check it out at PlayAlberta.ca. A lot of text flying in, 833-401-1440, and our email inbox, 833-401-1440. The Oilers will be on the ice tomorrow with 2 practice sessions. I think the first group gets on the ice at 9:45. Second group will be on around 12:30-ish. And they'll be off and running. They skate Thursday, Friday, Saturday. They got 2 preseason games on Sunday, one in Calgary, one in Edmonton. And then they play Tuesday, another game on Thursday. I think another game on the Saturday. Or no, maybe it's even Saturday and Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. And then they'll wrap it up with 2 road games on the 1st and the 3rd in Seattle and Vancouver. And then boom, 3 weeks away from today, the NHL season begins as the Calgary Flames come to town. And the Oilers will be looking for a better start to the season. The last few years, not great. Started 0-3 last year. They did manage to salvage it and go 4-5-1. Was okay in their first 10. Obviously had a good rest of the year. The year prior, the Oilers, they were 2-8 out of the gate. Now, it didn't hurt them. They went all the way to Stanley Cup final. So, a slow start is not going to cripple you by any stretch of the imagination. But ideally, they would like to get off to a better start and maybe end their NHL record, longest stretch without winning their division, which last occurred in 1987. Yowza. So 38 years. So they want to end that one before they make it 39 this year. We'll get more from Chris Knobloch here. We'll go in the room, brought to you by Action Electrical, where, hey, take action on your savings. Look at all the sun out there. You're just like, man, it could be saving you money. You got solar on your home or your commercial building, some big savings and some great grants to use. Go to actionelectrical.net and they can help walk you through how to get all the grant money from the federal government. Chris Knoblauch, his second training camp with the Edmonton Oilers, but of course, this will be his 3rd season. He coached 69 games in 23-24, then all 82 last year. Has had an unbelievable start to his coaching career. And Chris Knoblauch, another guy who is, and actually, I want to start with his answer because I think the next contract signed might be Chris Knoblauch. Listen to his answer about the fact that he's entering the last year of his deal.
I think that obviously the city would be much more concerned about Connor, and I'd be surprised if anyone knew that I was going in my last year of my contract because of everything else that's going on. So, hopefully when things get, we'll move on that quickly, hopefully. And but yes, I am on my last year contract, and hopefully something gets done before we get going.
It's interesting, yeah. Before we get going, so listen to that. So if I'm playalberta.ca, I got to look. Did they have who gets signed next? Because if they did, I'd probably be betting on Mr. Knoblauch right there. So we'll see. Now let's get to some of his other comments about just the defense group heading into the season and how he sees it shaking out, and I guess maybe specifically Nurse and Walman.
Well, we're very optimistic about our defense as a whole. Everybody feel that we got a great unit that can play as well as any group in the NHL, and Jake being a big part of that. And also Jake being the flexibility of him being able to play the left side, right side. But I think it's really important to try and keep him on one side as much as possible. And that'll probably be on the right side, considering how many lefties we have. And, I think he played some of his best hockey last year being on his right side. And, who his partner is, we'll see. Maybe it's Darnell, maybe it's somebody else, but we saw him be able to play really well with multiple players. And I think that's a good trait to have as a player, that you are flexible, that you can complement other guys. And, but Jake's obviously a really good hockey player. I learned a lot about him, after the trade. He's a competitive guy. He's sacrificed his body to block a lot of shots. He's fun to be around. He's, he likes the game of hockey, and when he's playing well, which is quite often, he's a really good player for us.
Yeah, he is. I think, well, Walman, we were told later on, Walman's going to play the right side with Darnell Nurse mainly, and it makes sense. And what about Savoy and Howard? And does he have to play them in his top six, or is it better to shelter him in the bottom six?
I think the most important part of it is finding out how ready they are for the NHL. And it's tough to come to the NHL and, they are players who have typically played with best players. And it's also difficult, if they are put in that position, they are playing with our best players, they're playing against other teams' best players. And that's quite a load for a young player. And, I think training camp, we want to find out exactly where they are, how they'll help our team, and who to complement, and what players will complement them the most. So, I don't think I've got a clear indication right now that they have to play in this role or else somewhere else. I don't see it that way. So I think training camp's about earning a spot, finding an identity as a team, who and what lines mesh, that kind of thing. And I don't think it's important for a coach to say this is what our lines are going to be from day one and this is how we're going to move forward, because we've got a lot of uncertainties. We're missing about half our forwards from last year's Stanley Cup run, so there's going to be a lot of fluctuation. And I'd prefer that there wasn't fluctuation. I would like to have the certainty, but we've got some to start.
Yeah, no question about it. They have real good certainty on the back end. I think Savoy and Howard, I can understand where you say, hey, you want to play him with some offensive guys. I think Chris brings up a good point that, hey, if you play him with offensive guys, that means they're playing against the other team's best offensive guys. And there's some, I think it's hard for veteran skilled forwards to be good defensively. It's really hard for offensive-minded young rookie forwards to really read the zone. So is Howard ready yet to play in a top six role? If that means he's going to have to play defense against a lot of other teams' top guys, we'll see. But I won't be surprised if he isn't. And I don't think that's a big negative. Just think he means he isn't ready yet, and they'll be fine. The next one was the new members of the coaching staff. Right, you got a new goalie coach. You got Paul McDermott comes in. Connor Allen comes in as a skills coach, or skill enhancement drills that they're going to do. And kind of how has that gone for Chris Knobloch and getting to know the staff and infiltrating them into your organization and your team in the room?
I think the most important part of it is finding out how ready they are for the NHL. Yes, I'm really optimistic about it. We've had some great weeks together and meetings and talking about hockey, and all these guys, I didn't know very well or at all before. The only one I knew a little bit was Paul McFarland, coached U17's Team Canada for about a week or two. But other than that, nobody else. And, the time that we spent with them, I've felt that we're very fortunate to hire the guys that we did. And as for being aligned philosophically, it's good to be aligned, but you don't want to be completely aligned, because also you want a staff that also challenges the head coach on, obviously the head coach has a lot of ideas and he throws them out there. You don't want a staff that just says, yeah, that's a really good idea. Yeah, that's the right way to do things, because you're not evolving, you're not getting better. And you want some coaches that see things differently, whether it's a little more offensive minded or maybe some defensive minded. And, there's not one right way to play the game, but I think if you've got some guys who think a little bit differently, that it helps the group. And, I love their hockey minds. They're very hardworking, and I'm really looking forward to working with them throughout the year.
Chris Knobloch, head coach of the Edmonton Oilers, the change to the penalty kill. What are we going to see different this year on the PK?
Yeah, penalty kill's changing quite a bit. Well, one with personnel, we lose a lot of the forwards, but also with our strategy and what we want to do. And now for the personnel, who we feel that we've got many options of guys who can kill, and we want to find out which ones are the best at doing it, but also giving guys roles within our team and not having guys on the ice too much. And I think the exhibition games, we will see kind of a test period of which players are grasping the concepts and are really good in that role. So, fortunately, we have 8 exhibition games. We have a lot of opportunities to try out those guys, and then we'll find out who the best are. And now, as for strategy, so we're making some changes, and probably a little more of what you see other teams doing. I think we were kind of an outlier last year. I think there was probably 3 teams that were killing systems similar to what we were doing. And we're kind of more meshing to what more the rest of the league's doing.
Interesting. So that's something to watch. When you watch preseason, those are some of the little things, not just the player performance. Watch what they're doing on the penalty kill. And as Knobloch said, the preseason is going to be to see which players can play the style they want and which ones just pick it up and do well. Because they got a lot of guys, Nugent Hopkins, Henrique, Trent Frederick can kill penalties if needed. Tomasek, I think, is going to get some looks there. Noah Philp, Curtis Lazar. Obviously, Yanmar can kill penalties. So they'll have a lot of different guys who Matt Savoy, who they'll probably try out there and see what happens. I don't think it's going to get solved. And Kapanen, another guy that's going to get solved right away. And Podkolzin automatically are the guys there. But we'll have a lot of different guys. So it'll be interesting. The other factor that I think is a good problem is you have lots of wingers and centermen who can play both positions. So you're going to switch up some lines. You're going to try different things. Is this going to be an on kind of year going experiment, or would Knobloch like to get it settled a bit sooner?
Yeah, there's some things I want to see, and if they can do it, if they can play center, and some of the guys coming in that, whether they have a really good opportunity to make the team, or we expect them to be on the team, or maybe they're returning. I think of playing center, maybe, Tomasek, Phil, Lazar, those kind of guys who are, not core pieces of our team, but we feel that they could be a part of it. And, as for like Nugent Hopkins, obviously we know that he can play center and wing. Henrique has majority played center. I think early on he'll play some left wing, because I certainly know that he can play center. So give those other guys opportunities. Trent Frederick for us played all wing. And typically through his time in Boston, a lot of it's been on the right side, but he has played a lot of center. And during training camp, we'd like to see how that feels for our team. So he'll have a lot of time playing the middle here in training camp and exhibition, and then we'll find out exactly what we want for our centerman. We would like to kind of get a third line that's hard to play against, maybe more of a checking role, a little more physicality. So, who those guys fit on that line might take away of somebody that might be able to play up in the top 6. I just don't want to commit to something and commit to it and then find out it doesn't work. So I think we're very open-minded on a lot of possibilities.
Open-mindedness is never a bad thing. We'll take a quick break. We'll hear more from Chris Knobloch, getting a good insight into some of the things to watch for this coming season for the Edmonton Oilers. We'll also hear from Jake Walman, who is going to play the right side with Darnell Nurse. Probably going to get, not probably, I think he's going to play the right side of the penalty kill as well. And why he likes the right side. We'll get to all that and more on the Jason Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
While the players gear up for the new season, make sure you gear up your snack game with Will Hawk Beef Jerky.
Okay, this jumbo bag of beef jerky should last the preseason.
Whoa. Will Hawk has more than just beef jerky. There's smoked sausage and pepperoni products too.
Well, how about we have jerky for Eastern opponents and pepperoni sticks when we face the Western teams?
Now that sounds like a Will Hockey game plan.
Will Hock beef jerky, because you don't win games with salad. Only available in Leduc.
Listen up, because you're not going to want to miss this. Right now is your chance to get in on Play Alberta's biggest offer ever. For a limited time only, new players can get up to a $1,000 casino bonus when they sign up. There's never been a better time to join the fun. Visit playalberta.ca today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
Yeah, can I get a... yes. A common reaction from a veggie lover. Always scanning, searching, longing. But wait, what is this we see? The new McVeggie. Now at McDonald's.
What a performance by Action Electrical today. Their projects team kicked things off, designing and building with unmatched skill.
Then the service team swoops in for those crucial repairs and maintenance. And don't forget the testing team, ensuring everything's safe and sound before the solar team scores with sustainable energy.
A complete team effort. Have Action Electrical bring home a win for you and your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Japa Machinery Group knows that XCMG may not roll off the tongue, but Japa's team will help keep your construction jobs rolling on time and on budget with heavy equipment sales and rentals. Visit japamachinery.com to find out more.
Summit Restaurant, located in the heart of the Silent Ice Center and just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Summit is your destination for exceptional house-made pizza, delicious entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails. Experience the perfect blend of flavor and ambiance in a modern setting. Join us for a straightforward yet elevated dining experience where our commitment to quality speaks to every bite and sip. Make Summit Restaurant your next night on the town.
They sure saw you coming. You went in for about $200 in auto service, and by the time Johnny Slick out front was done telling you everything he thought you should have replaced, you got hosed for $3,000. Big Toy Shop won't lie to you, inflate your bill, or waste your time. You'll know exactly what your service actually costs and when it's going to be done. Take your ride to Big Toy Shop, 8315 Argyle Road, 780-298-2797.
Are you relying on credit cards to make ends meet? Are you making just the minimum payment and carrying a balance month after month? It's time to break free from the debt spiral and take control of your finances. I'm Parveen Middleton, licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Edmonton. During a free consultation, I can explain all your debt relief options and stop your credit card bills from piling up. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to discover your debt-free future.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor, the best place for wine, cocktails, and beers from all over the world. Also, a variety of excellent and non-alcoholic options. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$329. Welcome back, Jason Gregor. Sports 1440, Orders Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, as always, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We got lots and lots of text flying in at 833-401-1440. Some good ones. Hey, boys, why are there so many NHL high-profile players who have yet to sign an extension? Well, I guess the big ones are McDavid, Kaprizov, Eichel, Kyle Connor, Artemi Panarin. I think there's a few reasons, and in each scenario is different. I do think the quick rising salary cap plays a factor because, some people, how much more do we go up, right? Like when the cap was flat, you're kind of like, well, hey, you go up $500,000, $1 million, whatever. What are the comparables straight across? They're looking and saying, well, gee, should any of these guys make more than Draisaitl? Like other than McDavid, I don't think you can make an argument that any of them should, but they will. And then how comfortable are teams doing it? So the Kaprizov one isn't from a lack of the team sending an offer. They offered him $120 million over that many years. So does he feel like he can get more from someone else? Man, the one thing I'll say about the Kaprizov, I've heard whispers from multiple places that they think there's a little bit of some teams tampering here and say, hey, well, don't sign. We'll sign you for this. And like the number I heard was 7 times 20, which would happen next year, which is wild. But, those are just kind of things you hear. Whether or not it's actually truthful remains to be seen. But, that turned down a lot. Like it's pretty big. Some say, hey, it wasn't really about the term, that he wouldn't mind long-term because he's been banged up, he being Kaprizov. So I think in the case of Panarin, his age is probably a little bit of a factor. The Rangers had a terrible year last year. Are you going to lock him up for a long-term deal right now? I wouldn't think so. So, each one's unique. I think, Kyle Connor in Winnipeg, a lot of people thought the Jets were going to lose out on both Scheifele and Hellebuyck. Remember that? And they both re-signed. So you never know from situation to situation. I think a lot of people thought those guys were leaving and neither one left. So and they all signed for different reasons, right? So it's a good question though. But I do think the massive increase and jump in the salary cap does play a factor now because just, the landscape's changing now. And if you used to be a $10 million player, are you now a 13 or a 14? Even though you're exact same player, just because the cap has gone up quite a bit. So, hey, Greg's, for fun, can you name the last 10 Hobey Baker winners? I'm assuming this is our reference to Ike Howard. Well, funny enough, because I wrote about this a while ago, so see how good my memory is. Jack Eichel, Cale Makar, Celebrini, Fantilli, right? So those guys are pretty good. Cole Caulfield. I know those are the top guys. And then there's guys like Jimmy Vesey, Butcher. Who's the guy in Ottawa that was red hot last year? And then Adam Gaudette. There's the other D-man, the Blues guys, Perenovich. And then there's a goalie who never went anywhere. So 5 really good guys. And obviously 2 of them are pretty darn elite. Like Eichel's a top 10 center in the league for sure. And Makar is obviously, the best defenseman or one of the best defensemen in the league. Top 10 player in the league. And then, look at Celebrini's rookie year. Adam Fantilli scored 30 goals. Cole Caulfield's been a pretty good player. So I will say this. The last decade of Hobey Baker winners has had much more NHL success than the Hobey Baker winners from 2005 to 2014, right? I think it kind of started, wasn't Johnny Gaudreau, did he win it in 13 or 14? I think when did he get drafted? I think it might have been 14. I'm not for sure on that. It's either 13 or 14. I think he was kind of the start of, Hobey Baker winners, the one. I'll have to look it up, Cons, but I think from like in the salary cap era up until him, there wasn't a lot of guys who did a whole lot of much who are Hobey Baker winners. It's definitely changed here in the last decade.
Like Matt Carl stands out back in 2006, but you're right. It was 2014 for Gaudreau. And since then,
so do you say Carl in 06?
Yeah.
So who won between Carl and Gaudreau?
Ryan Duncan, Kevin Porter, Matt Gilroy, Blake Jeffrey played in the NHL, right? Andy Meal, Jack Connolly, and Drew LeBlanc.
Yeah. So basically none of them had any sort of NHL success.
Yeah, I would say that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
Jeffrey played a little, and actually 55 games.
Did he play 5 games?
55.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But okay. Well, good for him. You make it to the NHL, great.
Yeah.
But so you look at Ike Howard, And, some of those guys came in right away. Great. But you don't have to. Like Adam Fantilli's first year in the NHL, compare his first year in the NHL to his second year in the NHL. It's quite different. So because Ike Howard doesn't knock it out of the park this year, doesn't mean he never will. Right? It's not even close. You don't have to crush it right away. Like Fantilli went from, now I know he got banged up, but he scored like 12 goals and then scored 30 plus. Right? Pretty big difference. So obviously played more games. I get it. But even if you go by his on-goal pace, it wasn't close. Like I think he was on pace for like 19 or something and goes 31. So it's a good jump. Guys, you got to remember those guys were even younger than Howard. Yeah, well, that's my point. The expectations on Ike Howard, they're not coming from me. They're coming from fans online overhyping this guy like he's the next coming, for goodness sakes. Pump the brakes. Pump the brakes. Lower your... I said this about Connor Bedard, and I'll say, don't blame the player because you have an unrealistic expectation and he doesn't meet it, and then you can say he sucks. Makes no sense. And most of the people with the projections on Howard haven't even watched them play. They just look at his stats. Hey, geez, he had 52 points in college. Great. Now he might be a late developer because his first 2 years in college weren't out of this world by any stretch of the imagination. So maybe he's one of those guys who, his first year at the next level needs a little bit of time. That's fine. And he's going to need some seasoning. Like college hockey ain't close. Right? It's not close to NHL. But maybe Ike Howard is just simply a little bit of a late developer. Nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing. Right? Now, it's hard to say a guy's first round pick's a late developer, but you look at his first 2 years in college, they were okay. Like, well, not, I think like he made improvements. Like, didn't he improve by like 17 points every year or 18 points every year? I think he went like from 17 to 35 to 52 or something like that. So that to me is a great sign. Obviously, he got more opportunity. He wasn't getting the same amount of ice time his first year as he got in the third year. So you always have to remember that about college players. But I do think it's important to just temper the expectations. Like I said, if you compare how people were talking about Ike Howard today compared to they were talking about expectations for Matt Savoy last year, it's night and day. Why? I think it was more realistic and fair on Savoy, but now it's just jumped the shark on Howard, and I don't understand why. Now, I guess every scenario is different. They're going to look at, some people were down on McLeod. They had lost. Yeah, get rid of McLeod. I don't like his game. He's soft. Okay, fine. But, oh, man, I love O'Reilly. I think he's going to be great. Never played in the NHL, but I love him. It's easier to love players at the lower levels, no question. So that's probably part of it. And, Ike Howard comes in. I think at the time of Savoy, there was lots of people who were hyped up about the signings that the Oilers had just made. Okay, they'll work out great. So lots of different scenarios. But I'm just saying now that it's September and you have time to exhale, just think about what your expectations were of Matt Savoy this year last time. They're probably virtually nothing to be an NHL player. So it should kind of be the same for Howard. Doesn't have to be higher at all. There's no need to. Howard's 21. Yeah, he's the same age now as Savoy, but age is just the number. To me, it's experience. He has never played more than 40 games in a season. Like, you come out of junior, that's the one advantage of playing major junior. Your body gets used to playing 60-plus games a year. Now it's 68. Plus playoffs sometimes, but just in the regular season. So that can be an advantage. You go to pro. So Ike Howard, if he's not here, I won't actually be surprised. And I don't think it'll be a bad thing at all. Quickly, let's get to here's Knobloch. Just more thoughts on Howard and Savoy and coming into Edmonton and expectations and, kind of talking to Colin Chalk and other people. And how as a coach, you approach them obviously with a clean slate, but trying to have an understanding of their game before they arrive.
Yeah, a lot of conversations within our staff, whether that's in Bakersfield or our professional scouts, our general managers. Stan and I have conversations, a lot of Cali, just these guys who've seen these players a lot and knowing where they excel and who their centerman was and who they, what kind of role they played and did they penalty kill and known as Soy, take face-offs. He was a centerman in junior, and all those kind of things. So I get that information as much as possible. Now, as much as him as a player in whether it was college or junior or the American League, that doesn't always add up to the NHL. But hopefully you use that information to help him get acquainted to our organization and put him in a position to excel as much as possible.
Be very interesting to watch. Now, Savoy's a right winger. And if you look at the right wing guys, now Hyman's not ready to start, but obviously he's going to come back at some point soon. So then you've got, David Tomasek, you've got Trent Frederick, who likes to play the right side. Mangiapane can also play the right side. On the left wing, battling Howard, you got Podkolzin. You have, I think, Adam Henrique's going to be more of a left winger this year than a center iceman. You got Kapanen, although he can play both sides. Podkolzin, Matthias Janmark. It's kind of the battles for each guy and who they're up against when it comes to ice time. Speaking of ice time, unveiling a brand new facility. Man, people have been waiting for this one. We'll talk about it next on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
It all started in 2006.
The year Twitter was founded.
Google bought YouTube.
We played Wii Sports.
And the Rocks opened, changing Jasper Avenue forever.
Celebrate 19 years of OTR on September 19th.
Featuring Edmonton's own The Royal Foundry.
Along with party band Kerr,
DJ Deadly Nedley, and DJ Kenny K.
Edmonton's biggest party started in 06 and is still rocking harder than ever.
See you September 19th.
At On the Rocks.
Jasper Ave and 118th.
I'm a little hungry.
I've got booster balls from Booster Juice.
Booster what now?
Booster balls. They're little protein bites packed with nutrients. Chewy, crunchy, yummy, and new flavors all the time. Like this little guy. The new mint chocolate booster ball, peppermint cocoa, coconut, peanut butter, maple syrup, all rolled up into a delightful little bite-sized snack.
Why am I just hearing about this now?
I don't know.
Can I have one?
No.
Booster Juice, Canadian born, blending since 1999.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance. When you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Experience a season of superior luxury, performance, and savings. The Fall Experience event is on now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. The all-new redesigned 2026 XC90 is here. Come drive one today. You won't be disappointed. Finance or lease a 2026 XC40 from 1.99%. And right now, you can save $7,500 on remaining 2025 XC60s. The Fall Experience event is on now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better service. Visit VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is the #1 heating and cooling company for people who want heating and cooling, because you'll save a bundle by bundling. Then you can use hot, cold, Come on, thermostat, do what you're told. Turn up the heat, turn up the cold, to the vents start pushing out tornadoes. Bundle my furnace with some AC. Gonna get a new from Legacy! Oh yeah, save a bundle when you bundle your new furnace and AC from Legacy today. Plus no payments and no interest for 1 year. That's how you build your legacy. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
For all things golf carts, it's the Golf Cart People. Their certified techs provide expert service from maintenance to custom upgrades. Customers can explore the sales floor for new and used Club Car, Yamaha, and E-Z-Go models. The Golf Cart People stock a wide variety of parts and accessories to keep every ride in top shape and offer convenient rentals for tournaments, weddings, and festivals. Trusted for sales, service, parts, accessories, and rentals since 1997. Visit the Golf Cart People at golfcartpeople.com, your complete golf cart solution.
Hey, did you hear what happened to Aiden?
Oh, yeah. It's heartbreaking.
Everyone knew this could happen. They've been posting those street races for months.
I know, right? Now his best friend is in the ICU. His family is devastated. All for some likes.
Totally wasn't worth it.
Street racing is deadly. Stop it before it stops you. A message from the Government of Alberta.
What's better than a family reunion? Getting the family discount. At Nisku Ford, you're not just a customer, you're part of the family. And we believe our family deserves the very best.
Our legendary employee pricing has been held over into September. So if you just got back from summer vacation, you can still get the Ford you want with exclusive deals reserved for our closest kin.
The coffee's on. Drive into Nisku Ford or visit niskuford.ca today. Above expectations.
Every morning, you look in the mirror and see less of yourself. Hair loss can feel like losing a part of who you are.
But it doesn't have to be that way. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we understand the pain of hair loss. Our advanced hair restoration solutions won't just bring back your hair, they'll help you face the mirror with confidence.
Good morning, you sexy beast. Visit drvanceelliott.com today because it's time to be the man you remember.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Enjoy a taste of Hawaii with Papa John's Aloha Trio. Try the classic Hawaiian, Super Hawaiian, or Hawaiian barbecue chicken pizza for only $19.99 each at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$3:46 on a lovely Wednesday afternoon. Man, this is the best time of year. Well, if you're a sports fan, there's a few months of the year, September, October, April. It's just unreal. So much going on in the sporting world. And it just seems like every day the calendar fills up more and more. Of course, you got MLB winning down. The Jays are 3 games from officially clinching a playoff, few games from getting in. They're going to get a bye, most likely. They're going to the playoffs for the first time in a decade. You've got NFL back. The CFL is into the playoff push. You got university sports firing up, junior football. You got NHL around the corner. You got WHL around the corner. AHL, of course, the BCHL will drop the puck this weekend in Spruce Grove for another season. But a little bit of a new wrinkle as they have the brand new Thompson Arena unveiling this Friday night for their home opener. As we go in the community now, brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. Life shouldn't hurt. Stay in place. Leading Edge Physio. And we're joined by the Vice President of Business Development for the Spruce Grove Saints and Silent Ice Entertainment, JJ Hebert. Joins us. JJ, welcome to the show, man. How you doing?
Hey, Jason, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on. I tell you, I'd like to hit up Grant and Heidi and Adam right about now over at Leading Edge to straighten me out a little bit. It's been a long haul here getting ready for Friday's home opener here at Thompson Family Arena.
Well, I was going to say, you're either, is that the highest chair you've ever sat in? What's going on?
Yeah, I'm actually, I have some old phone books. Remember the phone books back in the day?
Yeah, you stack them underneath you?
3 of them under on my chair right now. Yeah.
Well, that's just so the camera height. I like that, right? So you don't want to have too much headspace over the camera. Yeah, exactly. I like it. Now this arena, obviously, it's Larry Thompson, of course, is the owner of the Elks. That's Thompson Arena. They're obviously a huge sponsor of this, in partnership with the city of Spruce Grove and Silent Ice to come to fruition. I've had a few people texting already. What's capacity in the new arena?
Capacity is just under 1,700. So 1,665 is our final number. And I tell you right now, there's a lot of great spots for people to enjoy some unbelievable hockey. The new arena has really afforded us the ability to get some different vantage points, whether you're in the bowl, which is super steep for a better viewing experience. We've got some group areas with the Polar Den from Arctic Spas, our good friends over there at Arctic Spas. We've got the Lexus of Edmonton Club, which is a club on the very end overlooking with an elevated experience in your own bar and washrooms. Plus, we have 2 luxury suites that are almost sold out for the year already, giving you kind of an unparalleled view of the game starting Friday.
So you have the sitting areas, but then you also, because this is kind of new. I was at the Jays game, and so people like to stand and mingle and watch the game, and that's what you have at the one end of the rink.
That's actually got seats and stools. It's 2 levels.
Oh, okay.
we do what you're referring to, drink rail. We do have drink rail all the way around the arena for those people like to stand with their beverage or their food or whatever instead of sitting in the stand. So we've got 1,400 seats in the bowl. We've got standing room, drink rail all the way around, plus the Lexus Club, 2 suites, and the Polar Den. So we're pretty excited about all the options we have to offer here.
So you guys will open up at home against Brooks on Friday night. Anything special planned for the home opener?
You know what? This building is going to speak for itself. This is a whole new experience for anybody coming to games. I mean, we're 10 minutes from West Edmonton. St. Albert's close. So we're expecting people to come from all over, but we love our Parkland County residents. So anybody coming are going to experience, parking from the old Grand Fear Arena to this facility at Heavy Metal Place isn't even close. There's over 600 parking stalls here. So that changes things right off the hop.
Yeah.
As you walk into Heavy Metal Place, it's just a wide, beautiful, open concourse and lobby area. And then you go up the stairs into Thompson Family Arena where you get to the top, and then you just enter into the arena and wide concourses, nice sprawling arena with a Jumbotron, which is a game changer for anybody in the entertainment business. We've got lots of things planned in terms of activities at our media timeouts and in our intermissions. We finally get to do chuck-a-puck, a hockey tradition. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to do it before because there was netting, but the netting is only on the ends like a lot of arenas now. So we're super excited about that.
Chuck-a-puck is really popular for the junior hockey fans. They love it. So now there's no truth to the rumor. You're not going back and be in the mascot suit again this year, are you?
No, luckily there's a height requirement, and I'm exempt from wearing Chucky costume. We are looking for some performers to join our team. So if there's anybody listening,
who wants to be the mascot?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we've got one awesome guy that does it for us. But I'd like to have a few people, in store when people have holidays or have illness or so on, right? So, but Chucky is a staple here for the Spruce Grove Saints, helping us elevate our in-game experience.
How hot is it in the Chucky suit?
Oof. Yeah. I've heard, mind you, the rink is nice and cool, so you get to stay cool. And, I'd like to do it because I think I'm pretty energetic and like to high five people and take photos with kids and help them have a great night. But thankfully I'm too short.
So what's the requirement? You got to be at least 5'6"?
I think that was an actual question, but had a little bit of jab in there. So let's say 5'9" and up.
5'9" and up. Okay. So anybody out there who wants to be in be like a part-time backup role as the mascot for the Saints, reach out to JJ, the VP of Business Development for Silent Ice and the Spruce Grove Saints. Because I know there's lots of people that are always like, you know what? I could kick ass being a mascot, and they just never think they get the opportunity. So there you go. You never know, man. Like junior hockey is a stepping stone for lots of people, their hockey careers. Who knows? Maybe one of your mascots will be. Nowadays, mascots are making huge figures, man, in pro sports. It's not a joke anymore. If you're a good mascot, you can make some big cake. In the community though, for this, obviously it's a great home ring for you guys. It's probably going to help in bringing in players and like that, but just for the whole community of Spruce Grove, right? Like it's, is that going to be an ice sheet that's used for more practice time for some of the minor hockey teams as well?
Oh, 100%. Spruce Grove Miners are very lucky. They've got, I think, 6 sheets now here that they get to use. The Saints, we take up a small percentage of prime ice, and we're looking at doing some other programming to make it more available for other user groups. But Spruce Grove, the city of Spruce Grove's done a heck of a job providing ice for users here in Parkland County. And to speak to, our fan base, super loyal. We've seen season tickets jump. Attendance for our home opener is surpassed numbers that we've never seen before, aiming for a sellout with, it sounds like a sales pitch or a cliche, but only certain limited tickets are left. That's actually a fact for Friday. So we're super excited about that. And then, our fans are super passionate about Saints hockey. We heard it the last couple of years for various reasons, whether we weren't winning or they didn't like the way we were doing things off the ice. And we love that feedback. On a corporate side, man, we're super thankful for our corporate partners. They make what we do happen. They are passionate about seeing us push our student athletes and providing them with the best experience possible that they can have here in Spruce Grove, ultimately pushing them to be, great hockey players, but in our minds, great humans, and pushing them on to hopefully college hockey and further.
Now, JJ Hebert joins us here on Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, as well as on YouTube. And so, did you say there's 6 total sheets in this new facility?
No, there's 6 in Spruce Grove. Wow, there's 2 here. So
that's what I thought. I was like, why am I dreaming that? That'd be unreal. So obviously there's the one ice, kind of like at the old arena, right? You guys would play on one majority of the time. Kids still get to skate on. It's always a thrill. Like, I know when our boys played in St. Albert and they got to go play on the Saints ice, they thought it was a real big deal. And for kids in Spruce Grove who go to watch a lot of the games, you get one game a year on that ice surface. That's a pretty big deal for young kids.
Well, we've already seen it. Our first home game is our home opener. We haven't played an exhibition game here on purpose. We wanted the lid lifter to be super special and build up the momentum. But I've seen it every day for the last month or so. Now that hockey's well underway, everything from little Timbits to whatever U18s, and they get to come in the building, and it's very vibrant because it's full of advertising and partnerships. And the Jumbotron, and obviously I always used to love it growing up as a kid, getting to play in the big rink, so to speak, yes. Right? So totally. They do get that experience. The Brett Ryan Memorial Arena is attached. Okay. A very nice gesture for Brett and his family, secondary sheet. So that is 2 sheets here at Heavy Metal Place.
And you look at it from obviously it's helping you on the business side. How do you feel like from the Saints on ice perspective? Does it help in recruiting? And with all the changes that are going on in junior hockey, from NCAA to maybe WHL is going to lose more 19-year-olds to the NHL. Well, that's coming next year, or to the AHL, I should say, the following year. How has that impacted you guys on a recruitment level?
Yeah, no question. I mean, I don't get too involved in the hockey ops side. Rob Skaruk's our VP and GM. Martin Lachane is our VP and assistant GM. Boyd Olson does player recruitment for us. Steven Gertzen, our president, is an advisor and played in the NHL and helps us out in some of those areas with skill development. So I don't get involved. I mean, you've seen me play. I should probably be helping these young athletes on the ice, right?
Yeah, on how not to play. Yes.
Anyways, moving on. You're exactly right. And our facilities here, we're very thankful to our ownership to have been able to put the resources into our facilities here. They are, next time you're out, second to none. And our athletes know that. And it's a huge recruitment tool to bring in better players and have people want to come here. No different than when I was with the Oilers and Kevin Lowe and the crew working their best to, under Daryl Cates' vision of the building and the dressing room, which you've seen, to recruit free agents for the Edmonton Oilers. Much, much, much different level. Our main goal is to get good players, good humans here, develop them and move them on. And now we have this vehicle, if you will, in terms of our facilities, a beautiful arena with a great fan base that allows us to do everything that you're referring to.
So Friday night is the home opener for the Saints at the unveiling of the brand new facility, all the bells and whistles, the score clock, just for replays and everything else. That's just a big fan enhancement. You mentioned you can finally do chuck a puck for a lot. They love it. Trust me. Chuck a puck in 50-50, man, in Alberta. It is like, if you don't have that, you're missing out in junior hockey. So it's fantastic. You guys get that. And you got Brooks coming in. You guys have had a fantastic rivalry with them for the last few seasons. So Friday night looks great. You mentioned some limited seating available, so people can go to sgsaints.ca, and that's where you can get your tickets for Friday night. We're actually going to be doing our show there on Friday night, so I look forward to it. And we'll see. Are you going out? Are the staff members? Have you guys had did you guys get to go out for an opening ceremony skate when the rink first opened?
We haven't done that. To be honest, it's just been head down here, barreling through everything. There's still some construction going on. There's still signage going up. There's still lighting going on. There's lots going on, and everybody's busy in life, and we're right in that category right now. I'm looking forward to eventually having a skate out there, but Currently, I've only been on the ice testing out different things and making sure that lights are going on and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
But, yeah, Friday
Will you
night.
guys have like the spotlight and everything? Will there be a big spotlight for Friday night?
They're currently still being installed and wired and hoping that they're functioning by Friday. It's been a bit of a mad rush here to get everything done and check off a lot of boxes. We're super excited, and for the most part, we're pretty much ready to roll and can't wait for Friday night. I actually probably can't wait for it to be over, but I'm really looking forward to seeing this building come alive.
Well, it should be great. I know I talked to some Spruce Grovians, if that's the proper term or not, but they're pretty fired up for it. And a lot of people want to say they were there for opening night, and should be a great game against a good rivalry, and hopefully another good season for the Saints. We'll see you on Friday.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me on. Appreciate it.
That is JJ Hebert, VP of Business Development for Silent Ice and the Spruce Grove Saints. And, you know, the Thompson Arena, it's fantastic. What do they call it? Heavy metal arena. The Thompson family, a huge supporter of it. Larry, of course, the owner of the Elks, doing a lot out in his neck of the woods. And man, for Spruce Grove minor hockey, man, well, any parent, any coach, any player out there knows, like, ice right now is limited, and it's hard to get it. So that facility, to be able to have the old Grand Fear Arena, you still got the 2 ice services. They're great. So now you just have 2 more ice services in a community like Spruce Grove. God, that's going to be massive for them, just in more ice time and more practice time and more availability. So it's great. So going out there, you want to see the game on Friday night, should be a good one. Definitely will be a high atmosphere, no question, on Friday night. Let's get to the Con Man and the Sports 1440 update, brought to you by Fountain Tire. As we're getting into, I know it doesn't feel like that way, but eventually you're going to have to change your tires. You know, if you buy a new set of tires in September, you can save money and off of tire storage at Fountain Tire. No more stacking the tires in your garage. They'll take care of it. See more details, fountaintire.com.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Toronto Blue Jays back in action, looking to make it 7 straight when they take on the Tampa Bay Rays just after 5 o'clock. Kevin Gosman gets the call for the Birds. Currently, you got the Braves on top of the Nationals 4-3 in the 10th. Diamondbacks and Giants scoreless, though Diamondbacks do have a runner on third with 2 outs. Earlier today was the Cubbies over the Pirates 8-4. Reds get past the Cards 6-2, and White Sox falling at home with the Orioles 3-1. Later this evening, Dodgers host the Phillies, Astros taking on the Rangers. You got the Mariners and the Royals. Twins host the Yankees, Angels in Milwaukee, and the Red Sox up against the Athletics of Sacramento. In the WNBA tonight, playoff action, Liberty Mercury meeting at 6 o'clock. Liberty currently lead that series 1-9. Then at 8 o'clock, Minnesota looks to take a 2-0 series lead over the Valkyries. And some cool news for Canadian soccer legend Christine Sinclair, as the Portland Thorns announcing that they will retire her number 12 jersey this season, October 4th, ahead of the game against the Bay FC. Sinclair, 42, spent 11 seasons with the Thorns and retired after last season. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll hear more comments from the Edmonton Oilers. Also, another edition of Campaigns 2-minute warning, and we'll ask 5 questions. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Some people wake up and get dressed for work in a suit and tie or a nice dress. At GS Construction, we're less fashion forward and more putting our best foot forward. We wear hard hats and steel toe boots, and most importantly, we wear 50 years of experience with pride. It's not glamorous, it's definitely not easy, but it matters. We do it well. So if you'd like to be part of something where your work matters, GS Construction is hiring. Just remember, when you come for an interview, ditch the tie. See more at gsconstruction.ca.
At Fountain Tire, get up to 25% off select tires, up to $125 off a set of 4 select Goodyear tires, and $50 off a $150 service until October 18th. Restrictions apply. Book today. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Edmonton's only 24-hour-a-day sports radio station can be heard anytime, anywhere. Sports 1440 is streaming on your phone, your tablet, your computer. Download an app today and listen to Sports 1440.
Day or night, tasting just so right. You can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca.
God said, I need somebody to get up before dawn, milk cows, work all day in the fields, milk cows again, eat supper, go to town, and stay all night at a meeting of the school board. So God made a farmer.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. We are so thankful God made a farmer. For the month of September, it is our goal to feed 500 families. With every vehicle sold, we will feed a family of 4. So please help us reach our goal. Visit us online at northgategm.com.
A new Edmonton Oil Kings season hits different.
After a cruel summer, hockey is back at Rogers Place. This Saturday at 4, it's the Oil Kings home opener against the Red Deer Rebels.
Family fun that's second to none with Calmon Kids food combos for $10 or less.
Shake it off with a post-game concert from Canada's #1 Swiftie tribute artist, plus bracelet making on the concourse.
The Edmonton Oil Kings are Edmonton's first choice for family entertainment. Home openers Saturday at 4.
Great seats at Rogers Place start at only $20 at oilkings.ca.
Hi, I'm Jeff Davison, CEO of the Prostate Cancer Center. September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. Here in Alberta, 1 in 6 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer. But if caught early, it's one of the most treatable forms of cancer. The Prostate Cancer Center is committed to saving lives by providing free PSA blood testing on our man van, Alberta's only mobile men's health clinic. This September, talk to the men in your life about getting checked for prostate cancer. A simple blood test could save a life. Visit getcheck.ca to find a clinic near you.
It's time to rev up your engines at the Finning Sales Event, Tuesday, September 23rd. Take advantage of event exclusives and score big with 0% financing. Demo the latest Cat heavy-duty equipment as they celebrate 100 years. Plus, you can pick up your perk with every equipment purchase. $2,000 in additional discounts or free select attachments. Big machines, big savings, big fun. That's Tuesday, September 23rd. Edmonton Finning, 10910 170th Street Northwest.
It all started in 2006.
The year Twitter was founded.
Google bought YouTube.
We played Wii Sports.
And On the Rocks opened, changing Jasper Avenue forever.
Man, 19 years of OTR on September 19th.
Featuring Edmonton's own The Royal Foundry.
Along with party band
DJ Deadly Nedley and DJ Kenny K.
Edmonton's biggest party started in 06 and is still rocking harder than ever.
See you September 19th.
At On the Rocks.
Jasper Ave and 118.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio, from weekend warriors to professional athletes, kids playing soccer to grandparents in the garden, rotator cuff tears and tendonitis to post-surgical knees and hips. We fix your body. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Just after 4 o'clock, welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley. How are you on a lovely hump day? Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. Also, streaming live on Sports 1440 YouTube, Oilers Nation YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to give the deck man a thumbs up and get in the conversation there. They always enjoy it. Should be good. Coming up this hour, we got hear from Jake Walman, Zach Hyman, Cam Tate will be by. Also, we got Spec, Joel Delanco, linebacker for the Double E, will be joining us. And, you know, good chance, good to see him back at the. He's played very well for the Green and Gold this season, and just looking like getting better and better all the time. So we'll talk about him and a crushing loss to Toronto, but how you just got to let it go. And you got to move on and regroup and take on the Hamilton Tiger Cats, who really the Hamilton Tiger Cats loss. That was a pretty tough one because you literally had the winning touchdown in your hands. Unfortunately, dropped it, and they kind of dropped the ball against Toronto too. So you know what? You could make an argument that their team probably should have at least won one of those two games, at least one, maybe both. So we'll see. 833 401 1440, 833-401-1440. You can text us in our email inbox. It is The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca, where the OG today, get your tickets. PlayAlberta.ca, $20 million in the gold ball jackpot, a Lotto 649, and the classic jackpot of $5 million. Nobody won Lotto Max last night. It is up to $26 million for Friday. So get your tickets. PlayAlberta.ca. Also, the Toronto Blue Jays inching closer. Their magic number is officially 3. That's just to make the playoffs, but they've got much higher aspirations than that, as they are very comfortable. They're 4 games up on the Yankees, which really means 5 because they own the tiebreaker, and they got 11 games to go. So they're actually 5 up. Sorry, they're up 5, and they got the tiebreakers. They're up 6. Like, you can almost punch their ticket. They're going to win the AL East. They're now 7 games up on the Red Sox. They got the tiebreaker against them. They've actually moved 4 games up on Detroit. Here, just in the last 10 games, they've gained 3 games on the Detroit Tigers. The surging Seattle Mariners, who have won 10 in a row, are still, even with winning 10 in a row, are still 6 games back of the Blue Jays. So they have a leapfrog by a half a game, Houston. So that is probably the tightest race right now, is Houston and the Mariners in the AL anyway, for first place in the West, and still a chance to maybe catch Detroit and force them to take on the number 6 seed. So kind of fascinating. You look at the wild card race, and very slowly, don't look now, but a team that's won 5 in a row, 9-1 in their last 10, the Cleveland Guardians, are suddenly 2.5. Like, they've passed Texas. They're 2.5 back of the Red Sox. They've in the last 10 games, they've gained 5 games on the Red Sox. So you only got to gain 2.5 of those now here in the final. What does Cleveland have? 12 games left. So it's still obviously going to be hard, but Boston's going to have to start winning some games here. Otherwise, that would be an epic collapse to see them fall out of the playoff race. So definitely still some things to play for over in the NL. The Brewers and the Phillies, man, the Phillies are rolling. They're suddenly only game and a half back of the Brewers, but they're game and a half back to the Brewers. They played one more game. 92 wins for the Brewers, 91 for the Phillies, but they have 2 more losses. The Dodgers just kind of up and down a little bit like a yo-yo, or kind of like the old joke, like, geez, they're up and down more in a toilet seat. Are the Dodgers? They're leading the West, but they're only 2 games up on the Padres. The Cubbies have clinched a playoff spot already. They got their 88 wins. And the Mets, here's the battle. The Mets have the final wild card spot, but they are floundering. They've only won 2 of their last 10. And the Diamondbacks are a game and a half back of the Mets. So, and Cincinnati Reds, I guess you can still say they're there. They're 2.5 back. So the Mets, they got to find a way. They finally have, they've at least won their last 2 after a horrendous slide, but gave Arizona some life. So there's some real good races in MLB here in the final 2 weeks. Well, not even 2 weeks. What do we got? 11 days left in the regular season, because it ends on the 28th. So yeah, only 11 days left. So should be a lot of fun in MLB. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Let's get to the oil report, brought to you by Volvo Cars Edmonton. And if you've been waiting, it is here. The 2026 Volvo XC90. It looks exquisite. It's got a few more bells and whistles. It's fantastic. Take one for a test drive today at volvocarsedmonton.com. Zach Hyman, where is he? So he gives you is actually a realistic target for when Zach Hyman will return to play. He is skating, for those who, he is skating. He's happy with it, but does he have a return date on when he's coming back?
I've had major surgery before with the knee, and then whenever you set a timeline or a date, you often get disappointed if you don't hit that date. And then you tell people what the date is, and if the date comes and you're not ready for that date, then it's disappointment. So for me internally with the group, we have little 2-week blocks milestones that we check off and that we hit. And right now we are progressing very well.
Well, that's a good sign for Zach Hyman. He did mention later on in his press conference that, you know what, he's not going to be on the ice tomorrow with the team. He is skating on his own. And he's hoping that he's going to be around the team and skating. Like, he's not going to be ready, I don't think, to start the regular season. Like, I'm very confident he's not going to be ready for game 1, but is it game 5? Is it game 10? We don't know. But he was very open and honest. He got his cast off his wrist, so he feels he's progressing in the right direction. He's had some time. He was asked to, differentiate, the 2 losses to the Panthers and how different they were, obviously, because in one of them he played and then the other one he was a spectator.
Oh, there's, a team level and a personal level. Personal level is, they're very different for me. Obviously, one I was playing in and very active in and a big part of, and the other I wasn't on the ice and that was more in the background. So completely different, obviously, for me. So it's hard to me to speak to what was going on the ice. I had a view in the stands near you guys, right up top. On a team level, you'd like to think, there's obviously disappointment both years. Hopefully with this past year, we are better able to overcome it quicker, right? I think last year we had a little bit of a lull to start and could be a cup hangover, when you don't win and you got to regroup pretty quickly and get ready for the next year. There's a lot of, you're human. There's a lot of disappointment and it's tough to start a season again from the beginning. I think with this year, we've been through it. We're ready. We're hungry. We want to win. And we know that you can't, nothing that happened in the past matters. It's a brand new season. Everybody starts at 0 and half the league thinks they're going to win the cup and more than almost everybody thinks they're going to make the playoffs. Right. So, I think we're excited.
Oh, I will say, it is very different being around the team this year to last year, coming back from losing that Stanley Cup. They lost in game 7. It was brutal. And it's kind of like there was that cloud, if you go back to the cartoons, remember, the cloud just follows you around. It's not really a cloud. It doesn't mean that the Oilers aren't frustrated and clearly focused, but it is different, I think, this year around the team. I asked him about, as a leader of the group, he's one of the emotional guys. And while you're not playing, it's early in the year. How can, what kind of role would he play? How can you help out even though you're not actually playing on opening night?
I think just being around the group, I'll be practicing with the team, I'm sure. So whether I start or not, I'll be around. Let's say that. It's not like I'm just getting injured where you're kind of away from the team. You're going to be with the team and supporting, and especially hopefully we got some young guys in the team too. So it's not an easy transition to the NHL. No matter who you are, they're growing pains. So hopefully be able to help out some of the young guys as well.
And there you go. So, you heard from younger players before and how much Zach Hyman, just little tips he gives guys here and there. And so I would expect he would do the same for Savoy and Howard. And he always said, hey, and the best thing to do for young players, go ask the questions. Because a lot of it, they're like, well, I don't want to come to the guy and, unless it's something obvious, because, you don't want to put too much in their head. But if the player comes to them, man, they are definitely open to want to help out. Also, because there is kind of 2 levels of Zach Hyman. There's Zach Hyman, the player, but then there's also Zach Hyman, the owner. As you know, he owns a team in the Ontario Hockey League, and there's been tons of change in junior hockey, the NCAA ruling, and more. How was his first summer as an owner at the junior level?
That's great. That's I love talking about this is perfect. It was great. It was a great summer. I'm the governor of our team, so we had a board of governors meeting with all the different owners and governors out in Muskoka. So got to meet a bunch of the different owners. And that was obviously one of the key talking points, several rule changes. One, the NCAA rule change, obviously. And then 2, the American Hockey League potential rule change with the 19-year-olds being able to play. So definitely 2 things that are on the CHL's radar. I think that, from my standpoint, I think it's all great things. Like when I was a 16-year-old kid, I wish I had the opportunity to play wherever I wanted to and not be restricted by rules. If that were the case, I would have played in the OHL and then I would have gone on to college and it would have been great. So for me, why we got into the OHL is to help develop and grow the game, help young players get to the next level, help use my experience to help those players. And whether that's college, the American League, or the NHL, it doesn't matter to me. However long they're with the Bulldogs, it's going to be our goal to make them the best players possible. And my brother's a general manager, so if you've seen some of the moves he's made, it's pretty remarkable. We have a really, really strong team, and all the credit goes to him. He's been amazing.
Followed up on that, does his brother, does he get full carte blanche to make a move, or does he have to consult with the owner?
I can talk all day about this. We're here for a while, but we work in tandem. We talk every day. He's got an unbelievable pulse on junior hockey and the OHL. And if you guys, I don't know if you guys are that interested in the OHL or the prospects, but he's made some pretty great moves. Whatever polls are meant to be, but all the media has us winning. So I told him he's got a lot of pressure on him. So it'll be a fun year.
There you go. Something to always watch for. You know what, Zach Hyman, I've talked to Zach a lot about it. He says, hey, man, hockey's my job. I love it, but I have other interests, just like other people out there. Because if you get too focused on one thing, for him, he feels like it's just not healthy. So he likes having, it's still hockey related and stuff. He gets to work with his brother, which is loads of fun, but it definitely, we'll see kind of where it goes. Quick break. We'll return with, we're going to hear from Jake Walman. There's going to be some changes there. Also, Cam Tate and the 2-minute warning coming up next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
I'm a little hungry.
I've got Booster Balls from Booster Juice.
Booster what now?
Booster Balls. They're little protein bites packed with nutrients. Chewy, crunchy, yummy, and new flavors all the time. Like this little guy. The new mint chocolate Booster Ball. Peppermint, cocoa, coconut, peanut butter, maple syrup, all rolled up into a delightful little bite-sized snack.
Why am I just hearing about this now?
I don't know.
Can I have one?
No.
Booster Juice. Canadian born. Blending since 1999.
It's the final weekend of the Brick's famous tent sale. Now, save up to 70% off clearance items in the tent and store, with amazing deals arriving daily in every department. Like up to $1,800 off power reclining sectionals and up to $700 off big screen TVs. Buy more, save more when you buy 2 or more major appliances. Up to $1,000 off. Plus, get a free Bluetooth party speaker when you spend $9.99 or more on furniture. Some exclusions apply. See in store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
That's the sound of the Harley you've been dreaming about. And this is the sound of opportunity knocking. And it's coming from Harley-Davidson of Edmonton.
Our end of season sale is on, and we're clearing the floor with unbelievable prices on a huge selection of pre-owned bikes. This is your moment to own the legend.
Find your dream machine at Harley-Davidson of Edmonton on the Yellowhead Trail. Locally owned and operated by the Kent family and celebrating 45 years.
It takes grit. It takes heart. It's the legendary Canadian Finals Rodeo, powered by ATV. From October 1st to 4th in Edmonton, the nation's best go head-to-head in a battle of pure willpower. Witness the raw strength and adrenaline at Rogers Place. Plus, soak up the Western lifestyle at the Canadian Country Expo, with free admission and shuttles running between the expo and the arena. This is more than a rodeo. It's a showdown. Get your tickets now at CFR.ca.
As members of the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops, Alberta's rural natural gas utilities are here to fuel your life affordably, reliably, and safely. Across the province, natural gas keeps Albertans warm and connected every day. It's local, dependable, and it's ours. For more information on the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops and its members, or to learn more about how natural gas fuels your community, please visit us at fedgas.com. That's fedgas.com.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Culligan for all your residential water needs. Your local water treatment company, more than just big bottles. Culligan.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Welcome back. Gregor Halley here with you. Let's make your way through the afternoon. Let's get to the 2-minute warning with Cam Tate, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Home of the no payments, no interest for 1 year on your furnace or your AC. Who knows? We might be warm until the end of October. So make sure your AC is good or plan ahead for your furnace. At bare minimum, get a maintenance check at legacyheating.ca. Cam Tate, of course, longtime journalist in town. Cam, born with cerebral palsy, is in a wheelchair, but due to the wonders of technology, Cam's words now come to life in the 2-minute warning.
We find ourselves immersed in the annual Oilers training camp. And of course, the perennial saga of the young and the undecided, starring Connor McDavid, Jeff Jackson, Stan Bowman, and today, Hunter the mascot. The players, you see, are undergoing medicals. A fundamental exercise in ensuring physiological efficacy. A sound notion. However, a profound epiphany has taken root. The esteemed scribes, the diligent chroniclers of Oilers' fortunes, we too, by Jove, are in dire need of medicals. Yes, Oiler reporter medicals. A concept, I submit, that could herald a revolutionary era in media health protocols. And why not? First, the oral cavity. For all the culinary at games, superior chomping shape is paramount. Then, off to the good doctor, to ascertain the state of our blood sugar, for the insidious allure of ice cream, the siren song of donuts, and the veritable avalanche of M&Ms in the press box, to ensure all internal mechanisms are on the down low. A journalist, like a finely tuned automobile, cannot perform optimally if its internal combustion is less than perfectly regulated. What, pray tell, of the the legs and backs? Posture, my friends, is a structural imperative. The countless hours hunched over notebooks, the contorted positions during games, the arduous endurance at press conferences. One must be ready for the athletic demands of sedentary observation. Then, the very windows to our journalistic soul, the eyes, for it is upon our to ensure we do not provide ammunition for those querulous souls who exclaim, "What game are you watching?" A rhetorical question, but one that strikes at the heart of journalistic credibility. The same applies to the auditory apparatus. We must hear every whispered aside, every subtle inflection, every carefully couched non-answer from a coach. Finally, the instruments of our craft, hands and fingers. We must be nimble, possessed of almost arachnid dexterity, as we launch furious assaults upon keyboards, manipulate microphones, and navigate the subtle nuances of a post-game presser. And the aforementioned M&Ms. They heed such respect. The 2-minute warning. Gregor, Halley, Mr. What's-His-Name. Weekday afternoons.
Tater. Classic. I thought he was going to take a shot at when he started mentioning about backs and some back injuries to a few select people in the on press row who won't be named, but were absent. So well, we might have to get a medical update. Did somebody fail their medical on the media side? We're looking into it, but we'll find out tomorrow if that was the case or not. So we got a few guys looking into it. Could be a real big ongoing story for about 13 seconds. So it's fun. The But there's always it's always interesting to see what's new. I'm a big believer. I take the stairs now to the press box con all the time. It's quite nice. And I can take it down most times intermission too. So it's a good way to get some walking in, some movement. So it's good.
It's the little things, right?
It's true. All adds up.
Park far away, Might take your mall walk if you can. Who would be the most in shape media member? And let's just limit it to those who are at games.
Yeah. Man, I'm going through the list. Nope. No
names.
It's not a. Jeez, it's a good question. Maybe Tony Brar.
Yeah,
because he plays ball hockey. Maybe. Yeah. After that, man, pretty slim pickings there. God, I might have to ask the guys around that. Who would they vote for best in shape? Like, it's easy to cross off who aren't even the candidates. That's pretty easy. So, I never even thought about that. Good question. Hey, Greg's, as a lead up to the season, perhaps you can interview brass tactics, a fine component of live Oiler games. Do they go into training camp, for example, for Manny? I don't even mind that idea. I've never interviewed any of the members of Brass Tactics. I'm assuming that's the brass band. I didn't even know. Is that their actual name? Do they go by Brass Tactics? If true, that's unbelievable. Why they don't promote that more? I've never even heard that. Did you know that was their name, Cons?
No, I had no idea.
Like, I want to know, Manny, is that like, do they go by that name? Is that what they call themselves? I'm part of Brass Tactics.
Yeah. I mean, they have a website.
And it's called Brass Tactics. Are you serious?
The Brass Tactics.
Well, they're not doing a great job promoting themselves. I've never even heard it. Like, I've heard them, but I didn't know that was their name. Now, maybe I'm living under a rock. That's very possible. So, Brass Tactics. All right. Yeah, like, they've never played the Brass Bonanza. What the hell's going on there? Should be in the first question I have. On a Positive Friday home game. Get into it. Let's go. Why not? Hey, Gregor, Gene Principe is the most fit media member. Yeah, I mean, Gene, he was on my list. Right? Because it all depends. Like, what's our definition of fit? What are we talking about here? Is it just, like who's got the thinnest waist? Is it who can do it? It would probably have to be like, you would need some sort of like, heptathlon, decathlon type of competition to see who's the best fit, right? You probably got to mix in a sprint with some sort of distance race, right? Mix in something that shows a little bit of strength, some endurance, some jumping. I'd be in like what? Like you couldn't do the actual decathlon events. The guys or the gals would probably kill themselves trying to do all 10 of those. So, maybe you pick 5, right? Because you probably don't need to do the javelin and the shot, but let's be real here. So maybe, you know what, Cons? Maybe we should plan ahead for next year. Give everybody a year's notice. The next year we will have like a media competition before training camp. That'd be quite fun. Pick 5 events, like the 100-meter dash. That's the obvious one, right? You have to do that.
Yeah.
I know they do the 1500. Maybe we just make it the 800. Still hard race. Just not as long.
Could do like the NFL combine style jump, like to see who's got the best vertical.
Oh, the vertical. Yeah.
Could do that one.
Yeah, sure. I don't mind that. Like what else? So
what would the bench press be? Not 225.
Well, you probably couldn't do the bench press. Well, you could, right? I guess if people have a year, right? Because you're not going to excel at everything. But maybe I'd have to talk to Woodsy on like what would be 5 events to partake in and to would deem you most fit. That would be the question. I don't mind. I'm always up for competition, right? And then, but do you have to like is there is like in golf? There's handicaps, right? Would there be Would there be like an age handicap? Right? Like this spec an advantage for being old as dirt? Right? Like, does that give him, him and Karius, guys in their 60s, does that give them something? I'm not sure. I'm not sure how that works. Because I would assume, like, if you're a 30-year-old, my God, you should be more fit than a 50-year-old. Right? Like I saw some the other day, like being fit when you're young really isn't that big of an accomplishment. It's kind of an expectation. Like you're in your 20s, you should be fit. No reason not to be. Right? Now, unless you got some sort of, physical or, you got a disease or something like that. Well, that's different, right? But for most people, it's being fit at a young age isn't like a super flex compared to people. Like when I see 65 and 70-year-olds in good shape, I'm like, damn, those people are killing it, right? It's a little bit different. So like what type of, would you have it on a scale? Like if you run 100-meter, here's your time for probably go by average. What's the average 50-year-old do? What's the average 40-year-old do? So you got to kind of base it on that. I would think maybe. What do you think? Or is it just, no, it's just across the board. There's no benefits for age, pro or con.
I mean, I think you have to go no benefits,
Okay.
Personally, I mean, someone smarter than I could probably come up with a formula. I like push-ups though from Eddie Steele. That's one I think everyone could get in on.
But like, is it do it certain many in a time or just how many in a row can you do? Because that's again, and like if you can do 50 push-ups in a row, okay, great. But what if you have to do like 15, rest 15 seconds, do sets? I don't know. What would be better? Right? Like, what are we testing on here?
I'm going consecutive, I think.
Consecutive push-ups.
Yeah.
Okay. And who's the tester? Like, you got to put a book there that somebody's got to watch it because you see, people like you do a push-up, but then all of a sudden you're not touching it. Maybe you got to have like one of those beepers that your chest has to hit. So that goes off. It like lights up every time you touch it. There'd have to be something like that. Right? I like your vertical jump. That's a good one. The, some people saying, Gregor, 100 meters too long. Maybe just do the NFL 40-yard dash. It's probably fair. That could be fair. You could do the 3-cone drill, Cons.
Test the agility. Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I would be worried about Achilles and MCLs and all that sort.
Yeah, but I'm giving people a year.
I still would be worried about it. Listen, I think you should still do it, but I'm thinking over under at Play Alberta on Achilles tears on that one.
Achilles really do people tear their Achilles doing like I'm trying to think of a sprint that I ever saw anybody tear an Achilles. Like maybe it's happened. It seems
probably not sprint, but like stop and go.
Oh, so you're saying the 3-cone drill? Get rid of that? Okay.
Well, no, I'm on board for it, but I just think there could be.
No. So the 3-cone drill, I could see if we take it out because of it. So a dash, the push-ups, the vertical jump for sure. We need a distance run for sure because you got to measure both, right? Like, what if you got to work overtime? You got to have a little cardio.
Could you do the VO2 max?
No, the NHL players don't even do it anymore.
Well,
they're taking it out because they realize it was stupid. So no, we're not.
How about the beep test?
Well, isn't the beep test similar to 3-cone drill?
Beep. So you have to like run the distance back and forth in a gym before the beep.
Yes.
And it picks up.
Okay. So you're not going side to side.
Not side to side. It's just like 50 meters or whatever. Not even that.
Yeah, no, it's closer. I think they're like 20 feet because you make it the first time, then you rest and then it speeds up.
Yeah.
Sure. I'm in.
I like that one.
All right. Well, now here's if I poll the media members, which ones do you think would say, okay, I got a year out? I would do it.
Tony, I think would be in.
Yeah.
I think Gene just ran the marathon. I think he's in.
Okay.
Louis.
DeBrusque?
Yeah.
Well, he'd want to be in the push-ups one for sure.
Crush it.
He's got no chance in the running events.
Are we extending it to just Oilers media?
Well, anybody who's a media member in town who covers it. Like, what are you thinking? Like a jock or like a somebody who's just on like the Bear or CFCW?
Yeah. I mean, maybe JR wants to compete.
No, she's retired. No. Did you know that? No, she's not doing it. I'll speak on her behalf. She's like, dude, I'll be retired next year. I'll be on a beach somewhere. There's no chance. No, it's about sports, so let's just keep it to sports media.
Sports media, yeah.
Yeah.
I think those people come to mind.
Who is on your list that would say no for sure? Like, what about you? Are you going to do it?
We'll see. I have to start training soon.
I can't believe your first answer wasn't Declan. Declan, we start training tomorrow.
Well, if it's, if we're expanding the group, Declan for sure. And Declan would be a real competitor in this. I think like Declan's a good all-around
Well, he's
athlete.
probably the youngest guy in it. He better be a competitor. He'd be disappointed if he wasn't. So, yeah, I'd put him in there.
Yeah.
What about young Josh?
He'd have to get going. I know he likes his carbs. That's not a shot. I do too. When I bring
He
in
likes his carbs. That's not a shot.
when I bring in the donuts, he and I are going, 1-for-1 with him. So I'm right there with him. We're
Okay.
not on Declan's level. Duke is working with one ACL, so he's already down. So he might be in tough.
Okay.
Low tide's an out.
Low tide's an out.
Carius would be. He's competitive.
Yeah, I know.
You would know better than I.
Yeah, no, like Carius would do it.
So Eddie Steele, I think, would be in.
Well, Eddie Steele would be in, yeah.
You'd have like Brownie, Laddie Schmid. The Sports 1440 former athletes alone would be heavy competition.
Yeah, well, then you could probably do it like a pro athlete division and a non-pro athlete division, right?
Pro athlete and Declan.
Yeah. Well, let's not pump them up to this much. Okay, let's pump the brakes here a little bit. So yeah, you know what? Maybe we'll have to check it out. God, I hated beep tests, guys. I did throughout high school. With my walker was a blast. Still kicked half the people in my class from Austin Flint with my walker. Hey, Gregor, the media thrasher would be brilliant. Events suited to desk jockeys, 40-yard race, and office chair with wheels. Yeah. No. Guys, what about the participation classic from back in the day? Flexed arm hang from Monroe. Oh, my God. Could you try to do pull-ups? No. Pull-ups are tough, man. What about Struddy? Oh yeah, Struddy he would chirp a lot. Struddy would love the push-ups. I'm not sure he would love the endurance. He's always said he's never a great runner, but he'd probably be okay in the sprint. Right? Vertical, like my God, wasn't he allegedly an all-star in high school? I would think he would have a vertical, but I don't know. Like, can he skip rope vertical or
claims he could dunk?
Claims he can dunk. Yeah. Well,
but he's 6'4".
Yeah. Well, and 6'4", and he's got like ridiculously long arms. So, I put in his arm, like you're at that point, he's jumping like a foot, maybe 14 inches to dunk. Like I would hope he could, but what would be his vertical now? That's a good question. I'd be curious. Who would be I think a quiet, sneaking competitor who would do it would be Cam Moon. I think he'd definitely do it. Jack Michaels is competitive. He'd want to get into it, right? He'd be yelling at himself like he was in the golf course a few times yesterday, but I think he'd want to compete in it. So, hey guys, the only problem with Struds is no way he can jump with jeans under his track pants. Come on, Joey. That's a very good point. Right? Strud to be running he'd be running the sprint in jeans. Hey guys, my husband competed in the Fat Dad Olympics this summer with his friends to test their overall strength and conditioning. This is what they did. 10-kilometer run. Wow. 400 meters, 5-minute row. That is hard. Pull-ups, dead hang for as long as you can, push-ups, goblet squats. The strength was done one day and the running on separate days. They did research and found a tracking sheets based on age where you should fall into your category. Because that's why I do think age matters, right? Like you can be great shape at 50, but the 25-year-old should be quicker, right? Just
100%,
automatically. So I would play into it. But a 10K run, like, how many Fat Dad Olympics with a 10K run, like a 5-minute? Like I loved rowing. And rowing's a lot about technique more than anything else. Right? Ask Struddy when I beat him in rowing because he was trying to go too nuts. And then he's like, oh, I broke my roller because he slipped off of it. Hey, bad technique, Struddy. When you're in a race and you step outside your lane, Cons, even if you're leading, do you lose? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Thank you. So, there you go. Hey, Greggs, what about Monajan? Yeah, well, Monajan, I think he'd be good in some things for sure. Big dude. But, can the big men move? That's the question. Right?
He's a volleyball guy, right?
Yeah. But Jared's got to be like at least 6'6".
Yeah.
Maybe even is he close to 6'8"? God, he might be. I don't know. Hey, guys, what excuse would Rashog make? Oh, his back. Like, I didn't want to mention him, but there's no chance, right? His back. Gregor, if you do a push-up competition, Nilsson's out. That's true. That is true. I remember when he couldn't do one. And then, but then he did some training, and I don't know how many he got up to, but I don't know how many he could do now. So, but if you gave him a year, he might compete.
I think in a year, a lot of people.
You can't just do it, say, we'll do it in a month. You need to plan for a year ahead. But then you got to stay committed for a year to do it. Right? Hey, Greggs, what about Stoff? Well, first of all, Stoff might show us pictures of his young tree planting days. Say, this is what I used to be like. And we're like, great, Stoff, but this is about next year. Not what happened 30 years ago. If you gave Stoff a year, would he train to do it? I think if you committed, like we'd have to get people to sign up now to commit, because then there's a little bit of like the public humiliation if you back out, right? If all of a sudden you're like, nah, 2 months of training, I'm out. So that's why the commitment would come in. You kind of sign the contract to do it. So I'll have to talk to Woodsy about the 5 things. I can tell you we're not doing a 10K run. There's no chance that's going in. Hey, Greggs, what about the police fitness test? Well, Greg, what's in the police fitness test? I need to know. Policeman, what's on it? And don't tell the fireman one when you're carrying the hose, like, well, you could do the fireman hose carry, right? Up across the gym and back. They do it in the speed thing, right? Sometimes you got to do it up the stairs. That's pretty damn tough, especially in the gear. So, what's the police test? Well, I'm assuming it ain't easy by any stretch of imagination. I know there's pull-ups involved in it. That I know for certain. There's like a running. You have to run. I think it's a mile. I could be wrong. I think it's a mile. Policeman, let me know. And you have to run it under a certain time.
So for RCMP, it looks like it's 5 kilometers. Minimum standard is 30 minutes. Target is 23. Superior is 20.
Okay.
There's a push-up test. Minimum standard 10 continuous reps. Target is 25 to 40. Superior 40 to 60.
All right. Don't we have to do 10 push-ups? Now, I know they're going to be authentic, legit push-ups, but still. 10 doesn't seem like it's that much. What else, Cons? There's got to be something more than push-ups and running.
There's, I don't know how official this is.
Yeah, please tell me that the RCMP test is more than 10 push-ups and running 5 kilometers in 30 minutes.
Alternatively, pushing and pulling a sled that requires the cadet to overcome 37 kilograms of resistance.
Yeah, they'd have to be doing something like that. Like, yeah, you got to have a resistance
Foot pursuit, 500 meters.
Okay, and how fast you got to do that? So that's like a sprint.
At the halfway point of the assessment, the cadet must climb a 1.4 meter chain link fence.
So it's like an obstacle course. Like you're running 500 meters, then you got to climb the fence.
At the midpoint, yeah.
At the midway. Oh, so at 250, you climb the fence. All right. Does it got barbed wire on the top of the fence?
That'd be cool. You throw your jacket over top so you don't get cut up.
Well, just wondering here. Young cops, man, you got to be in good shape, dude.
In the high priority test or task, the cadet will don the additional weight of hard body armor gear. They will sprint 150 meters, climb 2 flights of stairs, finish with an additional short sprint. They will be carrying 4.5 kilogram weight in their hands during the task and must be completed in 90 seconds.
Ooh, all right. Okay, well, like you got to remember, like we're media members. We're not trying to be police officers, so I don't know if you need that. Hey guys, what about Bag Milker Yaremchuk? Would both participate? All I know is Yaremchuk couldn't do 24 hours of golf, so not sure where I'm in on him right now. It was fantastic to raise the money, but he didn't finish. So, but if I gave him a year to train, could his hands last through the training? The good news is he could wear gloves when he was running. We're having fun, Ty. Could wear gloves. Gregor, what about Liam? Actually, you know what? If I had to pick a guy in the nation who I thought would do the best in all of the categories, I might pick Down. All right? Maybe. Or maybe the angry little person, Chalmers. I love Chalmers. He's a classic. Hey guys, please do the beep test as well. My brother just did it. All right. Yeah, the beep beep test makes sense. Hey guys, you got to do something that resembles your job. What? So you can sit for the longest? Well, I guess maybe you could do like a deep squat wall sit, right? Who can hold the wall sit for longest? That's actually not bad, Cons.
Maybe for fun, Taylor mentioned all the snacks, maybe an eating contest as well.
No, wow.
Salads?
Yeah, well, there were
Who can eat the most salad?
Oh, yeah. Well, God, that would be funny. Yeah. Even then, I might have a chance in that one. Any eating contest, like I'd be the worst. So we've got a lot of text on this one. We'll take a quick break. We'll return on the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Welcome to McDonald's. Can I take your order?
Yeah, can I get a... yes. A common reaction from a veggie lover. Always scanning, searching, longing. But wait, what is this we see? The new McVeggie. Now at McDonald's.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is sounding the call. Don't struggle through winter with a furnace you can't trust. For maintenance before winter strikes, call Legacy. Call Legacy. For furnace tune-ups and repairs to give peace of mind. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. Or to scrap your old furnace for a brand new high-efficiency one. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. And with no payments, no interest for 1 year on your new furnace, it's gotta be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
September, back to class and back to carting the kids around. Good news. Until the end of the month at Wolf GMC Buick, get GMC employee pricing on all remaining 2025 GMC Sierras, so you'll have loads of room. Plus, get 0% financing on Sierra light-duty crew cabs. If you're eyeing up an SUV, we have the completely redesigned GMC Terrain and our entire Buick family with incredible prices. And Costco members up to $1,200 additional off the price. Come see us, corner of 184th Street and Stony Plain Road.
Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
Hey, tough game today, Coach. What happened out there?
Well, our O-line was about as sturdy as a The receivers couldn't catch a beat. They tried. Next question.
Somebody needs a filter. Napa Auto Parts annual fall filter event sale is on now till September 21st. Visit your participating Napa store and get your cabin, air, and oil filters and more to keep your vehicle or equipment running in peak winning condition this fall. That's Napa know-how.
The all-time goal scorer?
Well, that's what I said.
Yeah. Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. What's the best way to beat the tariffs? Buy Canadian. Cantork's products not only made in Canada, but right here in Edmonton. Save money, support Canada at Cantork.com.
Tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
450. That's just coming down. The Kings will have a major announcement tomorrow. I'm wondering if it's they're going to announce this will be the final season for Anze Kopitar. Could see it. We'll get into the whole thing of whether or not I don't know where I stand on a season-long goodbye. I would kind of hard to do it. Hey guys, if it's work-related, you should measure lung capacity. Oh, that's a good one. It's a pretty good one, right? I don't mind that at all.
Well, not for the writers, though.
Sure. Well, but that's what you have strong. Maybe you could do the old wrist roll, right? You got to do some wrist strength competitions. Yeah, why not? Hey, Greg's, we get tested yearly. The beep test, level 7 minimum, push-ups, 23 minimum, vertical jump, grip strength, plank, 351 max, which most people get 120 minimum. Pull up, minimum 1. The standard and minimums change by your gender and age, though, for every 10 years, 20 to 29, 30 to 39, easier as you get older. Well, there you go, from Christian. Well, thank you very much, Christian, for the update on that one. So now, a thing about planking is when you're planking, do they force you to pull your shoulder blades down? which engages your core more and makes it way harder. I never learned that till about a few years ago. Is they're plank and they're like, no, plank like this. And you kind of have your elbows on the ground and then you kind of pull them down and back. Ooh, buddy, do you feel the burn much quicker? So 351 max or 120 minimum on plank. Now, I know planking's very good. Most of us should do it more. We'll see. Let's get to 5 questions now, brought to you by The Brick, where you have 2 days left for the tent sale at The Brick today. And tomorrow, big screen TVs are up to $700 off, and you get free local delivery on 50-inch TVs or bigger. And how about this? You can get 60% off original prices on clearance items in the tent. And there's new ones every day. Check it out at The Brick and thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, Jason, lots of Oilers and management members speaking today of the things you heard. What stood out to you the most?
You go ahead.
Honestly, I think, it's not going to shock anyone, but just hearing, the calmness, I'd say, in the voice of Bowman when he talks about what's going on with the McDavid signings. I know there's a lot of reason to panic, and in social media, things get magnified and people panic and do things for clicks and things of that sort. But just kind of the way he spoke, I didn't sense there was too much concern. Like, it's going to happen when it's going to happen, and there wasn't more to it. So I thought that was kind of a good thing to go with.
Well, I guess the thing for me is, because McDavid thing, I'm always tired of it, but I'm going to say the thing that stood out to me the most was how different their penalty kill is going to be, and how it's, they're going to use the preseason to see which guys fit into the new system, but I'm curious to see what they're going to do different on the penalty kill.
Question number 2 for you. When you look at the NHL this upcoming season, league-wide, are there any storylines that intrigue you?
Well, right now, it's the unsigned RFAs. McTavish in Anaheim, and I'm hearing that's not going very well. Luke Hughes in New Jersey, and I'm hearing that they're like $1.5 million apart this late, and they've been talking, and they're still that far apart. Even if Evangelista, he doesn't have a contract, and so hearing that none of them are really that close. So to me, that's a little bit of a surprise.
For me, I kind of like the milestone aspect of it. Alexander Ovechkin getting to goal 900. I know it's only 3 away, so he'll probably get there sooner than later. But then also Leon Draisaitl, the pursuit of 1,000, 44 points away. So I'll be definitely watching out for those. And then, like you said, the RFAs and who's going to sign when it happens. First domino to fall. I think that's going to be an intriguing storyline as well. Now, looking at the Pacific Division for question number 3, how many teams from the Pacific do you have making the playoffs this season?
Good question. Is Kirill Kaprizov going to be in Minnesota all year? Because that would change it a lot. I'm going to say Edmonton, Vegas, LA. I'm going to say 4.
Who's your 4th? Is it Anaheim? Vancouver. I just want to throw out Anaheim in there. Like, I like what they're doing. I don't know if it's going to be this year, but not top 3, but maybe a wild card team I'd throw in there. Question number 4 for you. Dolphins taking on the Bills tomorrow. A real shot of going 0-3 on the season to start. On a scale of 1 to 10, how hot is the seat for Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel?
Oh, it's going to get pretty hot. No question about it. And not just the head coach, like their GM, Mr. Greer's got to be, you might argue his seat's hotter, right? Like, look at what great moves has he made lately for them. So I think honestly though, Cons, this might be a case where both get the parting letter at the same time.
I could definitely see it happening. And I'm with you on that one. I mean, after the 2023 season, anticipation was high, and Tua getting injured obviously hasn't helped. I think I'll put it at about a 7 or an 8. I don't think he makes it this season, just what's going to happen. So I'll say that next year, Jesse Minter, Chargers DC, will be their head coach, and some team will get a very good offensive coordinator in Mike McDaniel for the 2026 season. Final question for you today. I just got to bring it back up because I accidentally closed it.
What a rookie.
I know. Big time rookie move here. I have a lot of texts or emails that I sent
on
out.
This day in 2009.
Oh, I got it. Okay. 2009, Community came out. I'm just going to do this off the top of the dome. Community was released on NBC, and then in 2013, it was Brooklyn Nine-Nine that debuted. A couple of my favorite shows, but some of them might be underappreciated. When it comes to shows that are underappreciated, what would be atop your list?
Go ahead.
Community would be one. Like I always found that was a very funny show that a lot of people didn't really talk about. The one that comes to mind, and it didn't last very long. I always thought that Freaks and Geeks was a funny show, and it had a ridiculous cast, like going back to James Franco, Seth Rogen, the guy that's in that crew. I forget his name from How I Met Your Mother. Like it had a really good storyline. I think they could have done more with it. It's nice that it didn't, I guess, have that decline down the road. Like it didn't go too long, but one season wasn't enough. So Freaks and Geeks would be one for me.
Okay. I think Boardwalk Empire was a show that probably was underrated. I'm going to go with Boardwalk Empire. Did you ever watch it?
I know it's an HBO show, but that's about it.
Steve Buscemi's in it. He was classic in it. It's basically, it's set during like the Prohibition era, right? In Atlantic City, and there's both sides of the law, right? So I actually, I quite liked it. So I'm going to say Boardwalk Empire. Very good show. Underrated. Might want to check it out.
Have you heard of Loudermilk?
Yeah. Oh, I watched a few episodes. Didn't watch any others after it.
We got into that one a couple of years ago. I would say that is probably underrated as well. A little like it's a dark comedy, but
yes,
wasn't too bad. That would be another one I'd have in there.
All
I think it's on Netflix for those who might be interested.
Shrinking. Pretty good show.
Apple TV, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Is that on Apple? I have no idea, but it was, it's pretty funny. Harrison Ford's in it. Jimmy is the main character. God, I can't remember the actor's name off the top of my head.
Jason Segel.
There you
That's
go.
who I was also forgetting in Freaks and Geeks.
Oh, okay. There you go. And so he loses his wife passes away. And then so he talks about the relationship with his daughter and friends and neighbors and everything. It's actually pretty funny. So I would, that's another one that if you haven't seen it, like, because I put it out there the other day, like I'm looking for a good comedy show. Like some days I just want to laugh, right? Like there's so much negativity in the world if you want to spend too much time trying to figure stuff out. So sometimes you just need a good laugh. And I don't mind a little, subtle humor, a little bit of risque humor is fine for me. Obviously if there's ever a show even close to Seinfeld, it'd be all over it. But I always look for a little comedy. So if anybody has one, let me know.
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
It's a long commitment, but you don't have to watch the entire thing.
Yeah. It's true. Quick break. We'll come back. We got Mark Spector. Also, we will be joined by Joel Delanco here on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Let's get to the comment. Sports 1440 update brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Buy a new vehicle and help feed families. In September, for every truck sold, Northgate will feed a family of 4. See all their vehicles at northgategm.com.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Toronto Blue Jays in action tonight, looking to make it 7 straight wins. Little rain delay in Tampa. They're set to take on the Rays. First pitch pushed back to 5:25 Mountain Time. You've also got the Red Sox and Athletics. Tigers, Guardians both getting going shortly. Later on tonight, Yankees in Minnesota. Royals host the Mariners. Rangers taking on the Astros, and the Dodgers up against the Phillies. Earlier today, Cubbies doubled up the Pirates 8-4. It was the Reds over the Cards 6-2. Orioles dropped the White Sox 3-1. Diamondbacks losing at home to the Giants 5-1. And Braves get past the Nationals 9-4. The Calgary Flames signing captain Michael Bachman to a 2-year, $6.5 million extension that will kick in 2026-2027. And Portland Thorns announcing today that Canadian legend Christine Sinclair's number 12 will be retired on October 4th when they take on Bay FC. Sinclair, 42, spent 11 seasons with the Thorns and retired after the 2024 season. WNBA playoffs rolling on tonight. New York looking to take a 2-0 series lead over the Mercury at 6. Then at 8, the Valkyries will try to even up their series with Minnesota. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet and Edmonton Elks linebacker Joel Delanco. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Ah, Hawaii. The warmth of a golden sunset as the waves roll in. The freshness of a waterfall.
the lush scent of tropical flowers in the air. You don't need to travel to enjoy all Hawaii has to offer. You just need to order pizza. Bring Hawaii home with the Aloha Trio, available for a limited time at Papa John's. Try our classic Hawaiian, super Hawaiian, or Hawaiian barbecue chicken for just $19.99 each. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, proudly locally owned and operated.
At Fountain Tire, get up to 25% off select tires, up to $125 off a set of 4 select Goodyear tires, and $50 off $150 service until October 18th. Restrictions apply. Book today. Fountain Tire.
That's for 4 o'clock. Welcome back to Canada. Connor Halley, how are you?
Of the
How are you?
famous tent sale. Now save up to 70% off clearance items in the tent and store, with more amazing deals arriving daily in every department, like up to $1,800 off power reclining sectionals.
Here
and
with
up to
you.
$700 off big
I provide
screen TVs.
ammunition for those
Buy more,
querulous
save more
souls
when
who
you buy 2 or more major appliances.
I'm a little
$12,000
hungry.
off. Plus, get a free Bluetooth
Back.
party speaker when
Gregor
you spend
Halley.
$9.99 or more on
Here with
furniture.
you.
Some exclusions apply.
dude
See in
looks
store for
good.
details. The Brick, saving you more.
we find ourselves
Want sports talk on the go?
I'm a little hungry.
I've got booster balls from Booster Juice.
Booster what now?
Apps like Radio Player, iHeart, and Stingray Music.
Edmonton sports
Root.
fans.
The esteemed scribe.
1440.
Listen up, because you're not going to want to miss this. Right now is your chance to get in on Play Alberta.
This just coming down the king.
For a limited time only, new players can get up to a $1,000 casino bonus when they sign up. There's never been a better time to join the fun. Visit playalberta.ca today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
It's time to rev up your engines at the Finning Sales Event, Tuesday, September 23rd. Take advantage of event exclusives and score big with 0% financing. Demo the latest Cat heavy-duty equipment as they celebrate 100 years. Plus, you can pick up your perk with every equipment purchase, $2,000 in additional discounts or free select attachments. Big machines, big savings, big fun. That's Tuesday, September 23rd. Edmonton Finning, 10910 170th Street Northwest.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Harley-Davidson of Edmonton on the Yellowhead Trail, locally owned and operated by the Kent family and celebrating 45 years. See all their great bikes at hdedmonton.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.507 on a lovely hump day. You made it through. Welcome back to the Gregor Show, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, as well as YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Watch us, Orders Nation and Sports 1440 on all of our socials. So thank you very much for that. You got the app going somewhere. It's always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, where you can get in the game tonight. The Blue Jays, of course, favored on the road tonight. Their magic number is down to 3. Any combination of those wins and losses by Cleveland, and they are officially in. And they're getting closer and closer all the time. I would look at what's their magic number when it looks just in the to clinch the AL, because they have a tiebreaker, so they are basically 6 games up on the Yankees, and they each have 11 games remaining. So I think their magic number in the down to 5, maybe even in the AL East. So it's looking good, and they've created some separation between themselves and Detroit, as well as they are 4 games up on Detroit for the number 1 seed. And slowly, hey, they're only, 3 games behind Milwaukee. Probably not going to catch them. Not that it matters much in that regard. But the Jays having a very good season, showing no signs of slowing down. And Kevin Gosman, who has pitched 8 innings at least 5 times this year, which is MLB high on the mound for Tampa Bay tonight. Let's get to the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction, your underground infrastructure specialist. Who is hiring? If you're looking for a great company that's not just a job, but a career to promote from within, go to Indeed.com and look up GS Construction. As Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet joins us. Spec, we were discussing, a year out, having like a media fitness testing to start the year. Do like 40-yard dash and a few other events. If you had a year's notice, would you do it?
A year's notice. Yeah, what the hell? I'm fit as the next guy who's going to be 60 by the time this thing happens. So
well, that's what I say. We'd probably have to rank. There would be some, kind of like handicap in golf. Like the 30-year-old guy might have a different testing number to reach than the 60-year-old Spec.
Yeah, well, I would certainly hope so. But I know some 30-year-olds in this town. I can still beat their rear end in one of them things. So if you're giving me a year and I say no, that wouldn't look very good. So I'll say yes and figure out the rules later.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I agree. So just something fun. We might have to consider it. We'll see if you get a year's notice to do it.
Notice. Wow. I can get in shape and back out of shape by then.
True, but if you give a year's notice and then people sign the contract and we announce it, then you're kind of pot committed at that point because you don't want to.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Let's table that for further discussion, Jason.
Well, you don't have to do it. You could maybe you could just be the organizer and not have to do it. So we'll see.
Yeah, no, that's fair. All I remember is, didn't Robin Brownlee?
Oh my God!
Foot race with somebody once.
Oh, Brownlee and Stoff, and the best was when Carius put it to Chariots of Fire as that was over at I think it was at
Elks practice or something.
Yeah, it was an Elks practice, but it was at Concordia, if I'm not mistaken, when they were practicing over there for some time. And yeah, you should have seen these two mules racing down the sidelines. Oh my God, it was comical. Brownlee had some knee surgeries, and yeah, it was like two smaller offensive linemen racing down the sidelines.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think that watching old sports writers try to do athletic feats is probably just setting us up for legacy of awful video on the internet, Jason. I think we should think this through.
Hey, buddy, you know what? Maybe no video loud, but there's tickets sold. That's it. Right? So you can get to see it once, but you can't video it. Or the video, but if you can't laugh at yourself, who can you laugh at? So
yeah, there you go. Hey, let's talk hockey.
Yeah, the orders, of course. Obviously, it's a story that'll be talked about for a bit, and I'm sure when McDavid talks tomorrow, someone's going to ask him about it. But I don't think there's going to be anything changing. It just seems like he's just taking his time. Like he basically, it'll be a feel one time, right? Like he even said, "What are you looking for?" Well, I kind of know. Like he knows the roster, right? He knows that the team isn't, and you can't predict with any sort of real accuracy who's going to be on the team, because you can look and say, okay, we know Draisaitl will be on the team next year. We know Bouchard will be on the team. They're under contract, and Hyman, and go down the list. But do you know they'll be healthy? Do you know? And you don't know which players might come available in the next 1 year or 2 year on the market, right? Like remember when Ekholm came available 2 weeks or 10 days before he got traded? Like you never know when that stuff occurs. So you can make a guess spec on where you think teams are going to be, but ultimately there's still a lot of uncertainty, which is why I think when it's all said and done and he's done his thinking and his feelings still going to be, you know what, all roads lead to home, and he'll end up selling back in Edmonton.
Well, it's the question. I believe that all us media guys are right. The real question is not this year. Can I win cups here over the length of the extension? Let's say it's a 4-year extension. How good is this team going to be in the next 4 years after this season? But there's a few things there. You can certainly go to cap friendly and figure out, whose contracts are expiring. Sure. But you can't ask Stan Bowman to tell you what his team's going to be in 2-3 years. He can't tell you that. There's got to be a level of trust that he will build a good team and he will turn people over and make and continue to make Ike Howard trades and Trent Frederick trades and Jake Walman trades that bring your number down, bring in a little younger guys that can play. Yep. He can't prove that to you today. So McDavid's going to have some trust. The other side of the coin is, I guarantee you the McDavid camp can go out there and find a whole bunch of organizations with stronger farm systems.
Oh,
and more guys coming up. Listen, Edmonton's farm system isn't great. No one's saying it is. They've been trading draft picks away. But that's great. So are you going to join one of those teams and hope all those young players turn out and win cups with you? There's no proof. Look at the Carolina Hurricanes. The analytics people have loved them for years. They haven't won squat, right? They haven't won a thing. And, the Chicago Blackhawks, great. They got all the draft picks in the world. When are they going to be any good? So there's no hard proof for the McDavid camp here. In the end, they got to take a leap of faith with somebody. They're just going to have to figure out who to take it with.
Yeah, well, and that's it. And so that's why I believe at the end of it, exactly, because from the outside, and you can talk to these organizations, Spec, but you don't really know until you're in the organization for a bit, everything, how it ticks, right? It's hey, anybody that dates someone, the first few dates, they come over and the guy or the girl, they're cleaning their house and their house is way cleaner than it ever has been because, geez, I want to make a good impression, right? And then 6 months in, you're like, oh, geez, Bobby's leaving socks all over the place or this or that because it's not how it is. So you can talk to these organizations and you can look at their contract situation, everything else. But for me, when it comes down to it, is there one that is a clear, obvious, no doubter better than Edmonton? And unless he finds that, that's why I think he ultimately will sign in Edmonton. It'll just take longer than some people want, but I don't think that's going to matter at the end.
Well, I think in the end, when you look around, there won't be again, you can look at some farm systems and look at some teams, but I can tell you, I can find holes in every one of those teams. So there's just no guarantee. You're never going to find a guarantee. In the end, you're going to make a move or you're going to stay here. The decision you make is going to be based on some level of faith. And I think most of us would say to each other in all aspects of life, sometimes if you're making a leap of faith, the devil is better than the devil you don't know. So I suspect we'll get another 3 or 4 years of McDavid here. After that, we're going to have this discussion again. Let's see what happens. But I look at Stan Bowman and I think he had an excellent year last year in recovering from the work Jeff Jackson did on July 1st. I think on Stan Bowman's resume are 3 Stanley Cups in Chicago where he had to rebuild teams, right, that lost a bunch of guys. He had to go out in the market, find new guys, rebuild them into Stanley Cup champions. He's got that on his resume. To me, I don't see any hard evidence of GMs who build better than this guy. Maybe Bill Zito, sure. He's got a lot of advantages down there that you don't have at Edmonton. So listen, to me, the grass isn't always greener. Got a mighty good team here. I don't know why he leaves it. Don't see any evidence of it.
Yeah. So we know he'll be on the ice tomorrow. We know Zach Hyman won't be on the ice with his teammates, but he is skating and feels that he's getting closer. Didn't want to give a select date on when he returns. I don't think he's going to be ready for in 3 weeks for the season opener, but you know what, whether it's a week or 2 or 3, a month maybe into the season, he'll be there, I think, sooner than later. I don't think this is a January, December type thing, even November from what I've heard. But that means somebody is going to get the opportunity to start the season with McDavid. And if you look at the right wing options, there's Trent Frederick, there's Matthew Savoy, there's Andrew Mangiapane, there's David Tomasek. Just to fill the void until he returns of Zach Hyman, who do you think it's going to be?
That's a good question. Who gets the spot, right? Until Hyman, because we know when Hyman comes back, he steps back in. That's his place. So who gets the training camp and the maybe 5 or 10 game bump? I'm gonna say Tomasek gets it. Tomasek.
Ooh.
I mean, who's your right wingers? it's him. It's Savoy. I don't like Savoy there. I think Mangiapane sits with Draisaitl, in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't think that Kapanen is your guy in that situation. So I'm picking Tomasek. Who are you picking?
I'm going to go with Matt Savoy, actually. So, which I think is a similar wild card to Tomasek, and but honestly, like any of them could do it, which makes training camp intriguing. Like I said, it's a spot filler. I think ultimately Hyman's the guy, because Hyman does a lot of things that create space for McDavid that isn't just about scoring. Obviously, he scores a fair amount of goals too, which is really nice. But there's a lot of things he does well that works well, and I think complements Connor McDavid's style. So it's kind of a win-win for both of them.
Okay.
We did learn today, Spec, Jake Walman and Darnell Nurse are going to start together. They're going to play together. And Jake Walman, I thought, answered very well why he likes playing the right side on the penalty kill in the offensive zone. So, there's really not much intrigue on the blue lines. Stetcher and Emberson are 6'7". I guess there's the chance that Regula, after not playing for a full year, somehow finds his way in a roster. It's going to be hard. So I think
chance.
that's
no chance. He's got to have 40 games in Bakersfield minimum. He needs to play, man. Not sit up here as a 6'7" that plays half the time. He goes to Bako. It's Stetcher, Emberson, absolutely for sure.
So I don't think there's much there, but there is lots of who's center. I think Nugent Hopkins is going to be the third line center to start, but where the winger is going to be, who fits with who. Especially with Hyman out, that line's kind of wide open. Adam Henrique could start there on the left wing. Trent Frederick wants to play more the right wing or center. You've got Adam Henrique, who could play on maybe with McDavid, maybe he's on your third line. What about Mangiapane? Where do you see him fitting in? What's your expectation for him this year?
I think that he gets every chance to be, to have a bounce back year for one. Like, he didn't have a very good season last year. They signed him to a 2-year deal here. They want a guy that can bring a little bit of agitation. I think you've got a guy who is a career, I would say if you play him in your top 6 here, you could roughly expect 20 goals and 40 points from him. Maybe you give him a chance to do better. He had one great year in his life. After that, he's been about a 16-goal, 35-point player. That's what he is, and that's fair. I think he's a veteran guy who brings you an element of stability. I have him as a top 6 right winger. To me, Hyman and Mangiapane are my 2 top wingers on this team. Unless something goes haywire, I don't know why Mangiapane is not playing with either McDavid or Draisaitl. Do you?
Well, I guess. I think Podkolzin's, kind of has a start on the Draisaitl line. Draisaitl loves playing with him. I see that they're skating together in the first unit on day one, which doesn't surprise me at all. I think you can always read a few things into that, but there's 4 or 5 guys like Tomasek is a wild card for sure. Trent Frederick, now that he's fully healthy, center or wing, and Knobloch left the door open, Spec, today talking about Trent Frederick in that he kind of wants to see him potentially get a look in your top 6.
Yes, and I didn't read. I heard 2 things from Chris Knoblauch today. I heard him say he wants to give Trent Frederick a long look at third line center. Jim Masson asked a question comparing him to Adam Lowry in Winnipeg. Do you want a big, heavy third line? Is he a good third line center? And Knoblauch raised his eyebrows and kind of said, yeah, I like that. I want to give him a big run. Then somebody said, Hyman's out. What about playing him at right wing? He said, I could play him at right wing next to McDavid for sure. So I don't know what he's settling on. I'll be honest with you. I don't know which of those things is real and which of those is just a bunch of hope. I guess we'll watch it unfold. I do, the guys in Boston will tell you, and they all said the same thing. Trent Frederick is not a top 6 productive player. That is not what he does. He is not producing like a top 6. He doesn't have top 6 hands. He doesn't score like a top 6 winger. I love him as a third line center if he can get the job done there. He's big. He's ornery. I love the Adam Lowry comparison. He's not as good a player, but if he could be 3/4, that would be great. So personally, I think he's a 3C or give him a run at 3C. If you want to run him up to the first line right wing, I think he's a fish out of water up there, Jay.
Okay. Well,
hey, I got one for you though. Hang on, I got one for you.
Okay.
Tell me this: did you see this? Stu Skinner. He's been listed at 230 on Hockey DB, 230, 230 pounds for the Oilers. They got him listed at 205. How come? What's going on?
Well, because I don't. For Hockey DB is rarely accurate. That's
Is that a typo?
Yeah. Like, I don't know
The
if
Oilers list him at 230 in their roster, like last year.
He was 230 last year. Well, yeah. Is the 205 a type? Because 25 pounds.
That's too much. It's too much. Nobody loses 25 pounds. If you go to the Oilers website and you go to their roster, he's listed at 230. I'm looking right here at the roster they gave us this morning, right? The fresh Edmonton Oilers training camp roster. And Stu Skinner is listed at 6'4", 205. So I don't know what's going on. Either it's a typo. There's no way he lost 25 pounds. He never, ever looked heavy to me over the last few years. You can tell a player that's heavy. He's 6'4". He never looked heavy. He doesn't look pudgy or anything like that. I don't see how he loses 25 pounds, frankly. But it's an intriguing question, and I wonder what's going on here. Did someone just touch the wrong button on their keyboard or what?
Well, it's a fair question. We could add, because 25 pounds would seem a lot.
That's too much.
In one short time. Or the 230 was never accurate.
Oh.
Right. There's lots of guys spec lifted at 5'11" who are 5'9". So he might be 220 and he's listed at 230, right? Like weight of players. I know there was years George Larac was listed at 240 and he was 260. So who knows what it is, but we can ask Stu. He's always pretty honest. He'll tell you flat out. I know that he did lean out. And not that he was overweight, but 5 pounds difference can be, maybe even 10, depending on how you do things. 25 would seem like a lot, potentially, right? So yeah, that might be a typo.
In a small season, like in a small summer, there's no chance a professional athlete like that loses 25 pounds. So there's something snaky. I think you're probably right when you say he probably never weighed 230, and he's But even so, like if 205 is accurate, I'd like to know if it's accurate. So anyway, it's interesting in a season where I'm predicting a bounce back here from Skinner, but certainly in a season where he's got a new goalie coach, and I think he does need to bounce back. We'd all agree on that. Last season wasn't great. So if he's lost a significant amount of weight, that will impact his ability to bounce back. Maybe it helps him. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, like anything, you can move a little bit. You're a little bit lighter, right? Like anybody whoever goes walking with a 20-pound vest and then they come back and the vest is off. Oh my God, right? Like that's a big difference. You don't even know the difference. So, if it's even a 10-pound, 15-pound, that so you can always see where it goes. But I don't know. I got to dig into that to find out what's.
Yeah, we all got to dig in on that. It hit me today, and I thought it was pretty weird.
Yes. So yeah, no, I saw that and saw people. Oh my God, like that. I'm like, okay, well, we'll look into it. We'll ask Stu. He'll give you the exact number on what it was to what it is now. But I know from seeing Stu Skinner the first time I saw him and looked at him, I'm like, okay, I'd probably slim down a bit, but 5 pounds can be the difference sometimes for players. Like 5 pounds can make a big difference. Whether you gain 5 pounds or you lose 5 pounds. It can make a difference, make you quicker or stronger, depending on which way you go. Lastly, spec a guy like Nugent Hopkins, because that's why I think they like Nugent Hopkins at center. And if Trent Frederick should, you can't have both of them at center. I could see Trent Frederick on a third line with Nugent Hopkins in a checking physical role, right? That's what I could see potentially.
Okay, well, if you take Nugent Hopkins off of Connor McDavid's left wing, wait, let me back up. I sense a desire for some change. I sense a desire not to just run back the same lines, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that it's very reasonable to say the Oilers like Hyman and McDavid together because they just are so productive when they're good. But maybe you do want a different left winger on that line. I feel like if Draisaitl tends to demand Podkolzin, but let's give him Mangiapane. That's a breath of fresh air on that line. So that's some change on both your top two lines. That takes Nugent Hopkins down to your third line. Make him your center? Sure. Let's make him your center with Frederick and with somebody else on the left wing, whoever it might be. Maybe Frederick's on the left side and Savoy's on the right side. I don't know. Let's see. But I sense a desire to not. What did Stan Bowman say today? We can't win this year with last year's team. And I think part of that is mixing up the salad a little bit, man. Like the defense is going to be the same. The goalies are going to be the same. You can't come back with 4 of the same lines, can you?
No. Very rarely does anybody do it, right? Stanley Cup winning teams have changed. Now, Florida's kind of an exception to that. They got Tkachuk hurt, but they're bringing it back, and we'll see. But they made some significant changes, and most teams do. That's just how it plays out all the time. And so in Edmonton's case, you know what? They got a little bit younger. They got a little bit quicker, and we'll see. And again, there's very few teams that what your starting season roster, that's not the playoff starting roster. So a lot of times,
that won't stop us from making a big deal out of the lines tomorrow, though, on the first day of camp.
yeah, trust me. They'll be just like, here's what the lines are. Great. You know what? Because the lines are going to change a lot in preseason and the preseason games. Because I don't like, if my memory is correct, McDavid and they didn't even play in either one of the split squad games last year. So they might not play on Sunday either.
Yeah, I would. Usually they don't. The big boys aren't playing in the first Sunday split squads for sure.
Yeah. Spec, have a good one. Oh, quickly, the Jays, Spec, they just keep on rolling, buddy. Like they are, they're rolling their way in here to the playoffs. And even without Bo Bichette here, they played great. Because I'll say this, like obviously Jimenez can't hit like him, but Jimenez might, like he is an unreal defender.
No, he's got a great glove, and what's his name? Eddie. I always forget his last name. Eddie. What's his name on second base?
Oh, Ernie Clement.
Ernie Clement, excuse me, was his glove. I think if I look at those 3 guys, I think okay, Jimenez can handle the leather at shortstop. I wonder if Ernie Clement can handle it at second. And the last couple games, he's been all world. So, I always say this: your middle infield, if you get some hits from them, great, but it's all about the leather. It's all about defense. That's what your middle infield has to be for you. If they can at least, Jay, make up on defense for the loss of Bichette, they'll have to figure out the power hitting somewhere else. You know what else happened today? The Cubs clinched a playoff spot today, my friend. So it's a good day to be Mark Spector.
There you go, Spec. Well, enjoy the Cubbies, and we'll talk to you tomorrow at the rink.
All right, man.
There you go. It's Mark Spector, the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction. Will return, and we're going to be joined by a player who just keeps getting better and better. Is really starting to learn the game, and that makes a big difference. Next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Of the Harley you've been dreaming about, and this is the sound of opportunity knocking, and it's coming from Harley-Davidson of Edmonton.
Our end of season sale is on, and we're clearing the floor with unbelievable prices on a huge selection of pre-owned bikes. This is your moment to own the legend.
Find your dream machine at Harley-Davidson of Edmonton on the Yellowhead Trail. Locally owned and operated by the Kent family and celebrating 45 years.
When you have lifting and material handling needs, Northwest Crane delivers. Western Canada's Sandy dealer, backed by the industry's toughest one. 3 years, 3,000 hours, no compromises. They service all crane makes and models with skilled technicians and deep industry expertise. Alberta owned with locations in Leduc and Grand Prairie and fully equipped service trucks. Northwest Crane keeps your operation lifting. For more information on sales or service, visit northwestcrane.com or call today.
Is your company drowning in paperwork and administrative tasks? Do you need more data to make better decisions? Nectar.io is your company's all-in-one solution for fleet and materials management, safety, time cards, and GIS-based project management. Now is the time to capture and transform field, site, and shop data into boardroom-level business intelligence, all with one login. Visit Nectar.io to book a demo today. Nectar.io, your business made better.
Work never gets done by standing around. You have to put your words into action. And that's exactly what GS Construction does every single day. Our priorities are safety first, quality second, efficiency third. GS Construction works hard. It's true, but first comes the care, the planning, and the people. Underground infrastructure isn't just about machines and trenches and some traffic inconveniences. It's about doing things right. Find out more on what we do. Visit gsconstruction.ca.
Yeah, can I get a... yes. A common reaction from a veggie lover. Always scanning, searching, longing. But wait, what is this we see? The new McVeggie. Now at McDonald's.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Northwest Crane, available for all your lifting and equipment needs, specializing in selling and servicing cranes. Get lifting at northwestcrane.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$5:35. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440. Sports1440.ca, as well as YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching as we get to our football report brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where the rates never change. No overtime charges. AC or furnace conks out late at night or on the weekend. Call Legacy. They'll come over and fix it at no extra charge. That is legacyheating.ca. And of course, with all the sports going on, the green and gold coming off a very difficult loss in Toronto, a game where the defense played unreal, 4-6 turnovers. They led the vast majority of the game and probably felt like that's one that definitely let slip away. As their head coach said, this one is going to sting. Well, that loss is obviously in the past, and now you focus on Hamilton. And our next guest is somebody who's just continually gotten better and better as he's gained more reps and more starts. Linebacker Joel Delanco joins us. Joel, welcome to the show, man. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me, Jason.
Well, Joel, you look back, and how long do you fester a tough loss like that, and then do you got to kind of just flush it out and focus on Hamilton? Like, is Saturday night the flight home where it is, and then you wake up Sunday and you're like, okay, or does it take a few days to get rid of a disappointment from that loss?
I mean, you definitely got to live in it a little bit. Coach kind of talked to us about feeling it for 24 hours, right? And so we I think you feel on the way back, and then you go and watch a film of it the next day, talk it out. And, for me, I get like refreshed when I'm able to get back onto the field and play a little bit of football and practice a little bit. And so that's able to get the taste out of your mouth, get a little football into you so you can continue to move on. But yeah, definitely stings that we let that one slip through our fingers, but that's why you play the game. And that's pro sports. It's just you got to play good the whole 60. You can't be really good for 58 minutes or 55 minutes, right? So
that's very well said. Now, Joel, you're the number one overall pick in the draft, and obviously, so there come expectations with that. And you've gotten more and more reps and starts, and we're seeing why you were touted as highly as you were. What is you, from a personal standpoint, where do you feel has been kind of the biggest growth in your game throughout this season?
I think getting in-game reps is probably, it's, I think the practices have been going well. I've been feeling more prepared in them and everything. And, all throughout this year, from training camp, felt really good. But being able to get in game and get those reps under your belt and just get comfortable out on the field because it is a lot different than practice. And you're like, my dad was a golfer, and he would talk about your practice swing versus your tournament swing, right? And that's kind of how you want to become. Like, say you practice, like, you know, I'm a guy that practices hard, right?
Okay.
So you want to take your practice self to the game self, because that's, you know, every day you feel comfortable at practice, you mess around with things and try different things. In the game, sometimes everybody can get really tight, you know? And so just being able to be that same player, and that, you know, that for me, you know, being someone that practice hard, you want to be that same person. Some people don't practice hard, right? So it's like, maybe they can flip a switch, but no, I just believe in, you know, putting the time in the preparation. And so, yeah, I think that's been really important. And, you know, my family, you know, I'm really big on my faith, and just a lot of prayer, a lot of answered prayers, just giving me opportunity, but also giving me opportunities to go and, you know, make some plays. And so, yeah, more opportunities have come up of late. So.
Well, you look at the sacks this team has made the last few weeks, like it's, you know, specifically the D line, right? They got more sacks as a D line group in the last 2 games than they had in the first 11. The secondary, 4 interceptions. And really, I thought Ty Ford should have had number 5. I thought that was kind of a soft roughing the passer call, unfortunately, on Metier at that time. But from a guy in the middle, in between those two, right? I know when the defense is working well, the secondary helps the D-line. Conversely, you know what? You kind of work in unison as a defense. For a guy who's kind of in the middle and works with both, what has kind of been the switch here that has led to way more sacks and way more interceptions in the last few weeks?
You know, we've been playing really good ball lately, and I think it was a matter of time before the ball kind of bounced our ways in some of those aspects. We've been really close on pressures, and then, you know, one guy loses contain, and then the quarterback rolls out, right? We looked at it last week, and that we're the highest pressure, QB pressure team in the CFL, but we have the least amount of sacks. And so, you know, we're getting pressures, but we're not getting home, right? So everybody was challenged last week, and, you know, with the DBs and making sure we're finishing those plays. And it's not good enough to just get, you know, to bat the ball down, right? It's, you got to go and make that play. Close isn't good enough anymore, especially where we're at in the standings. So we got to go and finish plays. And it was cool to see some of those plays getting finished. And sometimes when it comes to those things too, they come in kind of waves, you know, once one person gets a pick, you know, then, you know, we have 3 or 4, right? So it's kind of crazy how the day went. And so, yeah, just being prepared for when your opportunity comes. And a lot of guys took advantage of it that day.
Joel Delanco joins us. So, Joel, what do you sense the difference in confidence amongst the group when all of a sudden you start to see, and I know that sacks aren't the do-all, end-all, but when you're getting that much pressure and the quarterback is slipping out, and then it looks like we got a 4-yard loss and it turns into an 11-yard gain, like, it gets annoying after a while. But now that you're getting the sacks, you're getting the stops, you're getting the pressures, more incompletions, more interceptions, just in practice, is it different? Can you sense that confidence from your unit?
Oh, definitely. And, yeah. And the thing is, we do it during practice, and it's just taking it to the game. And, you know, the good thing about doing it as practice is you can build the confidence and that you're going to go do it in the game. And we practice really hard, and we believe that that's what has continued to help our growth throughout the year, is that we've taken practice really seriously, and we go out there and we work hard. Yeah, we get great work in with our ones and our lift team and everything like that. And so just taking that to the field, and, you know, obviously we were able to get some good opportunities this last weekend.
Working with J.C. Shared as your defensive coordinator, a guy with former linebacker himself, so obviously understands the position. Kind of, how do you feel your relationship's grown together, and what have you learned from him as your DC this year?
I've learned a lot, you know, but I mean, I think it's really cool, and I've always connected really well with coaches that were former players, and my coach in college was a former player as well, Marcus Freeman. And so yeah, I really enjoy hearing his mindset and his brain. And he's played the position too in this league for this team at a really high level. So it's just like, he gets it in a lot of circumstances. And so, yeah, I think it's just an awesome opportunity for all the guys in our room and me, and especially just, as guys have been getting more banged up, Niles is down and Nick is a little banged up. And so, I think it adds a little bit more responsibility on my shoulders. And so, just having conversations like that and just having conversations as men and just being able to step up, and as a guy that has more starts than others right now, you know what I mean? And whether that's 5 more, 6 more, whatever it is, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's different. So I think as the season's gone, I think our relationship has deepened and it's been really enjoyable.
One last one for you, looking ahead to Hamilton and Bo Levi Mitchell, and just what the biggest challenge that he presents as a quarterback.
I mean, the guy's like a first ballot Hall of Famer in this league. He's been doing it for so long. He's got an arm that he can make any throw in the league or any throw on the field. They've been running the ball really effectively the past few games. And so, they're, number 1 or number 2 in the league for a reason. And it's going to be a great challenge. We're looking forward to it. We're still in the position where we can make a playoff run, and our destiny is in front of us. So we got to go through teams like that, and we're really excited for the challenge. We're really excited for the challenge and excited for the opportunity. And we want to play against the best. And Toronto, really high-powered offense, and we just came a little bit short from being able to close them out, but we feel strongly about what we're putting on the field and that we're going to answer the call next time.
Well, Joel, continued success and best of luck in Steeltown this Saturday.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you for having me as well.
You betcha, man. Anytime. That is Joel Delanco, who is, he's played great football. He's just getting better and better and better. And but it's hard to live up to the expectations of being a number 1 overall pick, but you look at only his second season here in the CFL, he has been outstanding. That pick is looking better and better all the time. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back and get some final thoughts here on a very busy Wednesday on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
The Spruce Grove Saints home opener is Friday, September 19th, and you don't want to miss it. The Saints will be playing their first game in the brand new Thompson Family Arena as they host league champion Brooks Bandits at 7 p.m. With a completely new and exciting in-game experience, including a state-of-the-art Jumbotron, the Thompson Family Arena will be the place to be. Don't miss the Spruce Grove Saints home opener, September 19th. For tickets, visit tickets.sgsaints.ca.
It's the final weekend of the Brick's famous tent sale. Now, save up to 70% off clearance items in the tent and store, with amazing deals arriving daily in every department. Like up to $1,800 off power reclining sectionals and up to $700 off big screen TV. Buy more, save more when you buy 2 or more major appliances, up to $1,000 off. Plus, get a free Bluetooth party speaker when you spend $9.99 or more on furniture. Some exclusions apply. See in store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Listen up, because you're not going to want to miss this. Right now is your chance to get in on Play Alberta's biggest offer ever. For a limited time only, new players can get up to a $1,000 casino bonus when they sign up. There's never been a better time to join the fun. Visit playalberta.ca today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
Ah, Hawaii. The warmth of a golden sunset as the waves roll in. The freshness of a waterfall. The lush scent of tropical flowers in the air. You don't need to travel to enjoy all Hawaii has to offer. You just need to order pizza. Bring Hawaii home with the Aloha Trio, available for a limited time at Papa John's. Try our classic Hawaiian, super Hawaiian, or Hawaiian barbecue chicken for just $19.99 each. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, proudly locally owned and operated.
Fountain Tire. You can save $50 off tire storage with the purchase of 4 select tires now until September 30th at participating locations.
Okay.
Or you could squeeze them into your backseat, possibly causing upholstery damage, drive them home, struggle, sweating buckets trying to get them out of your vehicle, resulting in you feeling guilty for not going to the gym more often, or at all. But at the end of the day, it's your choice. Totally up to you.
Definitely $50 off the tire storage.
You got it. Book your appointment today at fountaintire.com. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Imagine a busy classroom. Now imagine it if no one was willing to teach. Here's the reality. It's getting harder to keep teachers in the profession and to attract new people to an increasingly challenging job. Pay for teachers has fallen far behind inflation and cost of living. With fair wages, we can keep the ones we have and hire more. But we need the provincial government to step up. Because a fair deal for teachers is a good deal for kids. A message from the Alberta Teachers Association.
As members of the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops, Alberta's rural natural gas utilities are here to fuel your life affordably, reliably, and safely. Across the province, natural gas keeps Albertans warm and connected every day. It's local, dependable, and it's ours. For more information on the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops and its members, or to learn more about how natural gas fuels your community, please visit us at fedgas.com. That's fedgas.com.
Hey, Gary, is that your dad?
No, this is Evan, the new sales rep I hired.
Oh.
First impressions matter, but when hair loss takes over, it can feel like you're not being seen for the maverick you truly are. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we know that hair loss is more than just a cosmetic issue. It's personal. Let's discuss all the cutting-edge options available so you can make a great impression every time.
Book a free consultation today at drvanceelliott.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. On the Rocks is celebrating 19 incredible years at their iconic location, and they want to celebrate with you. Join them September 19th for an incredible night of live music and so much more at ontherocksyeg.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
5:50. So I did send a text, and yeah, it looks like that's a typo on Stu Skinner's weight. We're at the 205. So I think because I don't think it was ever 230 either. I think it's going to come in closer to 215, and I think it was probably closer to 225. But still, 10 pounds, a little bit lighter could help him. I think you're going to see that, but also look for him to be, I think, a little bit less aggressive off of the rush. So take less ice, which means there's less ice to go across on cross ice passes. So I think I think we could see that for sure. But definitely 205 is a typo. I was told by just sending out a note to the order. So we'll probably get that clarified. Right. Hey, you're doing out the roster thing. Boom, one number. It happens. Lots of text to wrap up the show. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. Hey, guys, any chance they move Janmark to center again? No, I don't think Janmark. He played there and he did okay in a pinch, no problem. But no, I think he will be on left wing most regularly for the Edmonton Oilers this season. Coming up tomorrow, first on ice session. We'll see who's skating with McDavid and stuff. Get people fired up. Matt Savoy, Adam Henrique. Ooh, maybe. We'll see. Also, we'll talk more baseball, NFL, special Thursday. Now, this might be the most. There's something they're doing, Connor, that I think people hate in another food industry, and it might be coming to Thursday. We'll discuss that tomorrow. On behalf of Connor and Declan, I'm Jason Gregor. Have yourselves a lovely, lovely Wednesday evening. Let's get to the Con Man and Sports 1440 update brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where the rates never change. No OT charges, furnace repair and maintenance. Check it out, legacyheating.ca. Good night.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Blue Jays in action tonight, looking to make it 7 straight. Bottom of the first down in Tampa. They trail the Rays 1-0, 2 outs, runner on first. Elsewhere, Guardians up at the Tigers 1-0. The Athletics trail the Red Sox 2-1 in the top of the fourth. In the third, the Padres have a 2-1 lead over the Mets. Brewers, Angels scoreless right now, and the Mariners trail the Royals 3-0. That one, though, still in the first. Later tonight, Astros host the Rangers, Marlins in Denver taking on the Rockies, and the Dodgers host the Phillies. Earlier this afternoon, it was the Cubs over the Pirates 8-4. Reds drop the Cards 6-2. White Sox fall to the Orioles 3-1, and Giants get past the Diamondbacks 5-1 in extras. The Calgary Flames making some news today, signing Captain Michael back into a 2-year, $6.5 million contract. In the WNBA tonight, playoff action, Liberty can take a 2-0 series lead with the win. They host the Mercury, tip off in about 10 minutes time. Then at 8 o'clock, you got the Lynx taking on the Valkyries. Minnesota currently up 1-0. And the Portland Thorns announcing today the Canadian legend Christine Sinclair's number 12 jersey will be retired on October 4th ahead of a game with Bay FC. Sinclair, 42, spent 11 years with the organization. That'll do it for us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Coming up next, we've got Fox Sports Radio. All night long, live local coverage resumes tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. with Kevin Carius here on Sports 1440 and streaming on YouTube at Sports 1440 a.m. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
This is Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts